Christy Meyer Johnson, Justin Little Country Swanstrom. We've also got John DeFlorian and the one and only Joey Hero Martin today live on the Drag Illustrated Zone Westbuck Show. Listen, I've never had any problem expressing my opinions, but what we're doing here is bigger than that. These are conversations that need to be had in an unfiltered way. Drag racing's all I've ever done. It's all I care to do. I respect the history, I appreciate how far we've come, but I want more for this sport, and I'll fight for it. It's uncut, it's unfiltered, this is the show of shows. The biggest names in drag racing. No holds barred. This is the great American motorsport, drag racing. Prove me wrong, I'll wait. Hey gang, Westbuck here, Drag Illustrated Magazine, checking in. It is Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Hope you're doing well out there. We've got a hell of a show for you guys today. I think we've been calling it throughout the week something of a super show. This was going to be a big one. We've got Christy Meyer Johnson. As I mentioned, we're just days away from the annual Texas Stampede of Speed at the legendary Texas Motorplex. Can't wait to check in with her. I think this is one of the events in our space that really set the bar in so many different ways for racers, for fans, for sponsors and partners and media members, etc. There's just so many things going on down in the DFW area this week. It's a fantastic time of the year for drag racing. Undoubtedly one of my favorite events of the year. We're also going to check in with Joey Martin, longtime hero of the pro modified community, and we're really excited to talk to him. We got a little bit of breaking news coming from Joey today. Then we are going to check in with the one and only John DeFlorian, fresh off his first career NHRA Mountain Motor Pro Stock World Championship. So happy for this guy. He's one of us, a good old boy from Missouri that's been beaten up and down the highways and byways of America, chasing the drag racing dream for longer than I've been alive. And I'm so thrilled to see him having the success that he's having here in 2025. And we're going to round out today's program with a check-in from the road. I believe he is somewhere between Rockingham, North Carolina, and Zephyr Hills, Florida. But everybody's favorite trash talker, Justin Swanstrom, excited to talk to him as he heads into his first ever career event as a race promoter. So that ought to be an interesting conversation. I know there's all sorts of grudge races, no-time grudge races and matchups already locked in for Swanfest coming up this weekend at Rockingham Dragway. So I'm sure he's going to have a lot to share. But before we get too far along, let me introduce my co-host here on the Westbuck Show, JT, Mike. How we doing, boys?
What's up?
What's up?
Man,
hey, where's our applause, JT?
Oh, yeah, we need applause for our own people here, right?
There we go.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. If you're, let us know where you're tuning in from. We always like to see, we got people checking in from all around the globe here. It's always an exciting thing to see. And I think maybe more importantly, tell us where you're going racing this weekend. I was having this conversation. I wanted to talk to you guys about this, that late last night, Lyle Barnett and I were on one. It was a barn burner of a phone call. I think we were on the phone for an hour and a half or maybe 2 hours, but talking about all things drag racing and all these different events that are going on. And kind of, are you guys ever like shocked at how much high level drag racing is happening? I mean, it is just one after another. Like, I feel like we need to hire 50 more people to try to even come close to covering everything that's going on.
I mean, there's not an off season anymore. I mean, look at we're like little gangsters, right now. I mean,
yeah, we
those
talked
guys
about that yesterday.
They've been running since the Winter Series. I mean, I don't even know if they've been home.
There's so much door car racing. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I think we've seen in the past, like, every weekend there's a bracket race or your local event. And then there was like this big gap between that and a national event where you saw, your pro stock, pro mod eventually, and your fuel classes. But now there's a high level door slammer race somewhere, multiple of them usually on each weekend across the country. And it is hard to cover. That's actually a conversation that we've got Justin Swanstrom coming on the show today. We actually kind of talked with him about that a couple weeks ago, about how hard it is for a limited staff like ours that tries to cover a wide swath to really be able to keep up with all the stuff that's going on. So that in and of itself is a task. And maybe this is a good time to plug what's our email address that we have that we give out for for racers and for event promoters to send
press
us basically
at dragillustrated.com.
Yeah,
and that,
press.
You know what? A little public service announcement. And
Yeah.
this, let me riff on this for a moment, because I think it's the squeaky wheel gets the grease, friends. And I think if I had like a monologue to offer here for you guys today, is that sometimes you got to help yourself. And, you know, I can speak from experience. Drag Illustrated, we're heading into our 4 days from now, it will be 20 years that I have earned a living printing and mailing a magazine, building a media company. And I believe right now we have the most robust media offering that exists in drag racing today, from print to social and everything in between. And I'm really proud of that. But as I just mentioned, there are so many events going on. We had boots on the ground at 99 drag racing events. Drag Illustrated had boots on the ground at 99 drag racing events in 2024. And we're on track to top that number in 2025. And I think that despite our best efforts and pouring all the coal to it that we possibly can, it's still not enough. So sometimes we need help from the racing masses. So I had this conversation with a sportsman racer out of Minnesota last week that, you know, shoot us an email, send us a text. Matter of fact, I told this to Lyle Barnett. He's headed out to Swanfest this weekend. And I told him, hey, man, if something juicy is going on, or if you've got some sort of matchup, we're trying to pay attention to NHRA, PDRA, IHRA, Midwest Drag Racing Series. We're a week away from Duck Week, right? I mean, we're rolling into No Mercy at the house that Donna Long built, South Georgia Motorsports Park. I mean, there are so much drag. We're a few weeks away from the World Street Nationals at Ozzie Moya's Orlando Speed World Dragway. There are so many big events going on that it's a big task. And one of the things that you guys can do to help us and help yourself is share with us what you're working on. If you've got a new car coming out, if you've got a new sponsor that you just signed, you've got somebody involved in your program that needs to see their name in lights, maybe needs to get a little bit of a back rub, feel good about flipping you some fuel money or what have you, let us know about it, because I can't promise that we're going to publish every single thing that we receive. But I'm going to tell you, I had somebody grab me the other day and be like, man, Matt Hagan and Tony Stewart sure get a lot of ink on your deal. What's that about? And I said, well, it's pretty simple. They send us a pre-race press package before every single event they go to, and they send us a post-race press package after every single event they go to, and they make it easy for us to provide coverage for them. And that is I can't begin to tell you how much that helps, especially in this day and age that we live in, where, I mean, call around. Call your local newspaper, call around. Like, there are not that many people that are earning a living reporting on anything at this point in time. So if you can make it a little bit easier, and if you can make it be the low-hanging fruit, be the easier path for someone to go down, it will make a huge difference in your program. And I can tell you, the race teams that communicate with us are the race teams that get the most press and coverage and media, is because that's what we need from you guys. I have racers or promoters call me like, hey man, what do we got to do? Let me know what's going on. You can't just expect us to know it all. We try hard. We keep our ear to the ground. We pay attention to this stuff. We think about it when we wake up. We think about it when we're going to bed, and the whole time in between, but we still can't keep tabs on every single thing that's going on in our space. Like, a lot of our counterparts in the media are really focused on certain slivers of the sport, whether it's NHRA, whether it's a certain, radial tire or small tire racing. They focus in on certain things. We try to paint a wide swath. We know that we can't be everything to everybody, but I love the drag racing community as a whole, right? This is my community that I love, second only to my own family. And we do our level best. But Mike, and JT, you guys know that a lot of times after these races, if you go to an NHRA national event, almost every team you see on that qualifying sheet that is in a professional category, from Top Fuel to Pro Stock Motorcycle, communicate with us on a regular basis. We know that Doug Coletta has a new sponsor coming out, right? And we are made aware of that beforehand. We are provided quotes, we are provided materials, we are provided photos, whatever we need to adequately tell that story. And that's the reason that a lot of those pro level race teams get the bulk of the coverage, because they make it easy for us. So I encourage you guys to lean on that. press@dragillustrated.com is not a private email. It's something that anybody can send a message to, and it doesn't have to be some elaborate expose or perfectly written. Just send us a note that, like, hey, we're going to this track. Our local touring series is going to a track for the first time ever this weekend. Hey, I think that's a story worth telling. We'd love to tell that story. And if you send us a couple of photos of what you did this past weekend, hell, you may find yourself on the front page of dragillustrated.com or see your picture or your story being told on the pages of a publication that's hitting mailboxes around the globe every 6 weeks. So anyways, please, Guy Kawasaki, there's a famous quote, and these guys here on the show have heard me say it a million times, but I don't think it can be said enough. If you don't toot your own horn, you can't complain when there's no music. And it's an uncomfortable thing for all us blue-collar, roughneck drag racers, right? There are only a few of us that really love talking about ourselves, and the ones that do kind of stick out like a sore thumb, right? But it's par for the course at this point in time. There is so much going on in our space. There's so much happening at any given moment. There's so much noise that we literally need your help telling your story. So don't be bashful. Don't be shy. It's not bragging if you can back it up, right? So share your story with us because we would love to tell the world about what you're doing. Mike, JT, we just kind of completely glossed over.
I was going to piggyback on that. I think that also people overestimate social media.
Yes.
Like they think that I made a social media post, one post on my page or on my event page, or a couple people shared it, or I posted a couple times, and I can't believe you didn't see that. Like that's not the way it works. Don't put all your faith in your social media page. You need a website, you need email, you need press releases, you need the whole deal. Like that's what it takes. Pick a text or pick up the phone and call. Like you have to use all these avenues because the algorithms do not allow, as much as our algorithms are tuned up to see as much drag racing as possible. It doesn't work that way. So just don't go crazy on social.
Business page or a fan page. I mean, you're probably getting 0.4% of your followers. So I mean, you're not going to see it. And then when you refer back to something, that's another thing when you're making a post. Don't assume that somebody saw the last one, because they probably didn't. So when you're talking about something, you have to explain it again.
Yeah, you really do, man. And and it's a volume thing. I mean, we've found that in our social media following has exploded over the course of the last few years. And I correlate that directly to volume. We've got the volume on 11 pretty much all day, every day, and we keep it there. And so I've never really seen an instance where more input didn't create more output, right? You know what I mean? It's just kind of how the world works. So if you put yourself out there a little bit more than you historically have, you shouldn't be surprised that you see your name in lights a little more often than you historically have. So anyways,
what else we got?
It's PDRA coming up this weekend. We've got the PDRA. I mean, this seems like a really, really important event, right? There's all these rumblings in the space about what comes next for the PDRA, what's going to happen in 2026. So I feel like all eyes are going to be on Virginia Motorsports Park this weekend. I was watching.
Man, they got the weather. This is the weather report, JT. It's going to be cool. It's going to be crisp. It's going to be awesome at VMP and at Swanfest. So we're going to have here on the East Coast, man. Any other events racing up and down the East Coast, they got a good one this weekend.
Well, I hope you didn't just jinx it. Because
no, there's really no way. I'm
going to tell Tyler. If something happens, that this one's on you, Mike.
Hell
this one's on Mike.
Tyler is our scapegoat. If anything happens, it's on Tyler. It can't go the other way around.
Redline Oil PDRA series returns to Virginia for the jam-packed World Finals weekends. They've got Pro Star going on this weekend. They've got a multitude of championship battles headed into this final race of the year, and I think it's going to be interesting, man. I mean, there are some really close points battles. We're going to see some guys kind of making some moves, and we're also, it's about that time. Winter is coming, and I'm anxious to see kind of what all these guys look at, the final form of the regular season, right?
Yeah,
who's going to look strong headed into the 3-race series heard around the world? Who's going to go down there and shake things up and maybe go home $1 million richer if they could sweep all 3 of them? It's and dude, cars are coming out of the woodwork. Our second guest of the day, I'm excited to talk to her, or talk to him just about what his plans are.
I was like, Christy Meyer's got a pro mod coming?
No, I'm following. Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with all these comments on social media or in the group chat here or whatever we call it. Drag Racing Mayhem asking if NHRA is going to buy PDRA 2. I don't know. It does seem like there's a lot of stories rumbling around right now. A lot of movement in the space. It's interesting. It really is. Who knows what's going to happen, right?
Yeah, it's been an interesting season. It's going to be an interesting off season for sure.
It's going to be a really,
but there are
off season.
Well, that's whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, a week or two.
Q4 of drag racing. I don't know.
Yeah, check this out.
Let's come up with
just
something.
Riffing on PDRA. just 3 rounds separate Pro Boost, Ty Tutterow from Melanie Salemi. I know both those teams are coming in there loaded for bear. Ty Tutterow has looked like a world beater. They've found a little bit of performance. I think the pressure that the centrifugal superchargers have been putting on the screw blowers in all various forms of pro modified style drag racing has been really interesting and kind of pushed everybody to step up their game. Ty Tutterow is driving out of his mind right now. I mean, this kid is an animal on the starting line. The car is extremely consistent and extremely fast. I think Melanie Salemi is going to have her hands full, but all things considered, I think it's pretty cool that she's in the mix the way that she is. I mean, this
kinda
is
quietly,
going to be
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been one of those typical, record performance, dominating type of deal. But she opened up the season with a win at Galat, and we were there for that, Wes. And that seems like so long ago now, but it's gone by pretty quickly.
This summer.
And when these conditions get like this, I mean, obviously Tutterow is no slouch at any time, but I feel like these cool conditions we're going to see this weekend, and probably it helps a team in a tuner like John Salemi.
I think so, man. We're going to see some long ball hitting this weekend is what we're about to see. We're going to see some guys swinging for the fences. Every point's going to matter. And it's going to be fun because, I mean, these guys, Ty and Melanie, are both typically top qualifier types. They're going to be in the top half of the field, so they likely won't meet till later until the race. But how cool would it be to see it come down to the final round?
I also think that tomorrow night, I believe tomorrow night, Nate and Tyler and all them are going to be doing a PDRA live for Pro Star on here. And then I think they're going to do
one last night, right?
Yeah, they did. And I think they're going to do one, tomorrow night. And then I think they're going to do one live from the event. So, yeah,
a live special from the event.
Ooh,
live special. Nate,
where are you? I got to pull those standings up.
PDRA.
For PDRA, I want to look at the Pro Nitrous standings
on the website.
I'm pulling it up.
I know. I'm trying to find it, dog.
Dang, man.
We should have had this up.
All right, here we go.
All right, hit me with it.
What do you want? Like top 5?
Yeah. What do we got?
Tommy Franklin, Marcus Butner, Amber Denton, Billy Albert, Tim Molnar.
It looks to me like
really, you're really looking at those really the top 3. I mean, nobody.
It would take an
out of
active.
it. Yeah, but those top 3 really are in the driver's seat, and really Tommy and Marcus, especially. It's going to come down to those two, in my opinion.
What can you say about
Amber sitting there as kind of a dark horse, and really it's going to come down to those 3, which is crazy. Tommy's had an up and down season. Torn up a lot of stuff. Amber, we've seen those struggles that they had, but just kind of quietly hanging there. And then I feel like Butner's made a lot of noise this year. And if he, again, Jay Cox tuning that thing, long ball hitter, these cool conditions, we'll see who can get a hold of it and make the most of it.
Dude, if you look at Tommy Franklin and Marcus Butner as a titanic matchup, but how about Amber Denton even being in contention for a championship in her first year behind the wheel of a pro mod? We were lucky enough to see her make her debut down during the Drag Illustrated Winter Series presented by J&A Service at Bradenton earlier this year. And I felt like we were seeing something special start because it was obvious early on. I mean, obviously she's very accomplished behind the wheel of a race car, but making that move from Pro 632 to Pro Modified is a significant leap. So to see her,
she was ready for that.
Yeah, she was definitely ready for it. She did a great job. We've seen her really operating as a veteran behind the wheel of that car. And I just think it's a really cool story to see someone in their debut season, even in championship.
Well, how about some of these other guys? We'll go. I like some guys maybe want to give some shout outs to that are in their debut season of Pro Nitrous. Tim Molnar, Tim Papp, hanging in the top 10. Tim Papp won that season opening race in Galat, was really impressive, but didn't run a full season. And then a couple guys here, Dane Wood, number 8 in the points. That's pretty cool to see. And they've really run well at the end of the year here. Really cool to see that family. I don't want to call anybody that runs at this level low budget, but we'll call it lower budget team. And then another one, John Vergat's hanging in there at number 10. So some of these guys that have been at it for a while and are finally seeing some of their work pay off and hang in there in the top 10. And anytime you finish in the top 10 in Pro Nitrous, PDRA Pro Nitrous, man, that's something to hang your hat on.
It is, dude. I mean, I was talking to Lyle about this last night, and I was just riffing on how competitive Pro Modified has come. I mean, because if you really think back, I mean, we are not that far removed when a side-by-side run was pretty special in and of itself. Just seeing two cars with PM on the window, Pro Mod on the window, make it to the finish line under power seemed fairly significant, right? I mean, but it has evolved so quickly that it's really kind of hard to wrap your head around. I mean, and it's not only competitive in one environment. I mean, it's competitive in NHRA, it's competitive in IHRA, it's competitive in PDRA, it's competitive in Midwest Drag Racing Series, it's competitive everywhere. I mean, at the Yellow Bullet Nationals. I mean, I think back to the Winter Series, and of all the things that I'm proud about that, if you think about 32 cars spread across 600ths, I mean, Drag Racing Mayhem's in the comments right now saying it's closer than Pro Stock is, and it is. And that, I mean, I don't think anybody could have forecasted that a decade ago.
It's crazy, man. And we're going to see, I think we've got a couple changes, obviously, that we've made to our rule set for this year. I think we're going to see some pretty incredible performances out of these cars this year. I think regardless of what we do, we're going to see incredible performances. I think you're going to see it tighten up, and you're going to see, like, if you even go past the 32 on our field, it's tight all the way to like 40 or
to
50.
80.
And
I mean,
every little thing, that's like JT likes to joke about the rules or whatever. It's why they're so important, because every 5 pounds, every 10 pounds, every little thing makes a difference when you're talking about that many cars with all these variables going on, and how powerful these cars are and how unpredictable they're supposed to be. But then you talk about adding like 5 or 10 pounds to a combination, and it takes it, it makes a huge swing whenever everything's so tight.
At the World Series of Pro Mod,
it's amazing to see.
At the World Series of Pro Mod, 71 cars ran 369 or better. 71 cars were in the 360s. That, to me, is breathtaking. And that is, to me, that's a reflection of just how far we've come and how far this group of racers, and I tip my cap to them. Like, these guys that have poured their heart and souls and every ounce their wallet has to offer into doing this, and to know that there are that many cars in the United States of America, or for around the world for that matter, that can perform like that, is what makes me so excited about Pro Mod. Is just the volume of cars. There are so many of them that it's not even funny. But we'll talk more Pro Mod a little later in the show. I want to take a quick second before we bring on our first guest of the day and remind you guys that each and every episode of the West Buck Show is made possible by way of our friends at Stroud Safety. Stroud Safety is known for their top quality racing safety equipment, from drag chutes and seatbelts to fire suits and blankets, all 100% made in America. Log on to StroudSafety.com today and make sure you tell them we sent you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike, JT, Blake, everybody, let's give it up for our dear friend down here in the DFW area and quickly becoming one hell of a drag racing promoter, the one and only Christy Meyer Johnson. No claps from anybody else, just me. Okay, there we go.
Out,
Christy,
JT.
I tried to really set that up nicely, and they just let me
It's my
go it
fault.
alone.
It's my fault.
I just can't clap for myself. So.
Oh, no, you can.
Yes, you can.
Go for
You
it.
can. So tell us, Christy, we are days away from what is a week-plus long endeavor at the Texas Motorplex, the Texas Stampede of Speed. As I said in the intro, one of my favorite events on the drag racing calendar. You guys have really done an incredible job kind of setting the standard for what a drag racing event needs to look like in 2025. I have preached for years that we needed to see our sport evolve. We can't keep doing things the same way we did them 20, 30, 40 years ago. And in many places, it feels like that's the case, but not at your Texas Motorplex. What's got you most excited rolling into this year's running of the Texas Fall Nationals and the Texas Stampede of Speed?
Well, this year's our 40th anniversary, so that's been very special. It's been something I've been looking forward to for a long time, to be able to celebrate, the milestones and just the history that this place has and what it means to people. So that's what I'm most excited about, is just celebrating with so many friends. We have people coming in from all over the country to celebrate with us, and fans coming back that have been here since the very beginning. So that's one of the things that I've been really trying to spend a lot of time on this year with our team. We actually produced a small docuseries. Our first episode came out last week, and then we'll have 3 more episodes coming out in the next few weeks. So that's been something just to remind people of how we got here and what we're doing and what we'll continue to do in the future. And then there's just, we have our normal 10-day event. We have a country music festival. We have actually 2 divisionals because we're finishing Tulsa. And then we have our fall national event, which is so exciting. So there's just a lot to be excited about. And we have some really fun stuff in the works.
When I tell people here locally about the Stampede of Speed, I always tell them that, like, there's a music festival, there's all this stuff going on. You don't even it's way more than drag racing. And I have to preface it by saying, when I say a music festival, this is not some local honky tonkers. These are A-list acts that are likely touring nationwide right now that are adding this stop to their schedule. I mean, this is a high level operation. I could talk about all that leads up to the race, but one of the things that I really wanted to kind of pick your brain about, how validating is it for you guys to see your Friday, Saturday night qualifying show being kind of adopted by all these other promoters in the country? I don't think we would have ever seen Austin Prock sitting on a lobster cage throne, or Corey Reed sitting on an American Rebel beer throne in Brainerd, or Tony Schumacher holding the Louisville Slugger or whatever it was at St. Louis this past weekend. I don't think we would have seen any of those things if it weren't for sitting on that saddle on Saturday night at the Texas Motorplex. I mean, it's cool. It's got to feel cool to kind of set a trend, right?
Absolutely. We were just talking about this. Elin Werner and Abby and I were just talking about this today, actually. Just, it's when people emulate you, it's a huge compliment. We go out, we find cool things at other venues, whether it's baseball or football or music festivals that we attend, and we try to figure out how we can incorporate that in drag racing. And so, yeah, it means the world to us. It's so great to see that people are seeing there's other things we can do to entertain the fan. I mean, drag racing is our core, and we'll never get away from that. But there's other ways to bring in more entertainment and more value, and to introduce this to a new fan and a younger generation. Their attention span's different. There's so much research behind that. And how can we be relevant to our core fan, but also to the new fan? So that's something that we're very excited about. Actually, this year's Friday Night Live is sponsored by Jegs. And so that is going to be a very exciting night. We're having a black and yellow bash, and I'm actually representing our Texas.
So you got the black and yellow
jersey.
Oh, I like it.
So the Motorplex will be wearing black and yellow. These just came in the mail today, so I'm super pumped about our baseball jerseys. But so we're encouraging fans to wear black and yellow. We haven't talked about this yet with anybody, so you're the first to hear, but we're having a laser light show on Friday night, projecting on the tower and celebrating our 40th anniversary, doing a really cool homage to all things 40 years. And then, we have the Battle for the Saddle, where Loey T bonus, and they get to battle it out. So we have some really exciting things, and we're so thankful for Jegs for partnering with us. We have, I would say, beyond as close to a sellout as possible on the South Side. We are ticket sales are up 20% right now, you guys, and we're still a week and a half away from the Fall Nationals. So
that's
we are
awesome.
pumped for this year. We are doing a lot of value adds for the fans, just trying to make it a family-friendly opportunity. I mean, money's tight. We know that. So we have done so many things to incorporate some savings and some family values.
Yeah. I'm on your site now, actually, just looking at the tickets, and I see a discount on the tickets for Monday, discount on the tickets for Tuesday, and some other stuff here. And I mean, just a super impressive, easy to use website. I mean, you guys are just doing it to another level. And it's like we talked about the emulation of some of these things that you guys are doing, but how have you kept it fresh over these years and continued to evolve it? You've got a new logo, I noticed, for the event, kind of a throwback type of feel to it.
I like
does
it.
that ever, this many years into it, what do you guys sit down and think about when it comes to keeping it fresh and how you're evolving it year after year?
I think this year was extra special, just being the 40th, and we really wanted to, look back at where we came from. And, that logo really kind of emulates our original logo with the original race we had back in 1986. And so every year we try to kind of think of a branding theme, and we kind of set the pace at the beginning of the year and go all year long with that theme. And, obviously 40 is pretty easy. The 40th anniversary, we have the wrapped funny car Buddy Hull's been taking around town, and we've been running. You'll see it displayed here at the music festival and the Fall Nationals. So, we as a team, I don't do any of this by myself. Our whole team, we sit down, we have a lot of brainstorming meetings. We think of ideas. Some of them are terrible. Some of them are awesome, and we just basically, throw spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. And we always come down to, what can we pull off? We have a very small staff, considering the things that we do. And then we just try to have a lot of fun. I have a 13-year-old and 11-year-old, and I think, like, what will my kids enjoy and what can encourage them to be involved in this sport? And, so for me as a mom, I have a different perspective probably than some of the guys out there doing this. And just thinking of, like, how can this be something that families can do together and enjoy and afford? I mean, like, our tickets start out at $40 for the Fall Nationals. And then and those are pit pass tickets. We have a $40 4-pack where you get 4 burgers, or you pick burger, hot dog, or cheeseburger, and you get 4 of those. You get chips and a drink, so you can feed your whole family. There's no parking fees. It's a what you see is what you get ticket. There's no, ticketing fees added on.
Straight shooter pricing. I saw that on there.
Yeah.
I like it. Like every detail of the branding.
Yeah. $40 campground this year to celebrate our 40th anniversary. So we're just, it's working. It's paying off. We're up in ticket sales, and we're providing a place for families to come when they can't even afford to go to the state fair,
Yeah, it's such a good perspective to have. Like, we talk about that a lot here, but I don't know how far it gets beyond some of these conversations we have of having a perspective as a mom, as a mom of young kids or teenagers, and looking at it through their eyes. I think that this sport is so reluctant to look at it through the eyes of someone of that age and what they're into and what will attract them. And I think that that's probably a huge key to the success you're seeing with these events. But what are you seeing as far as, like, engagement in the local community in and around Ennis and Dallas and Fort Worth, and, like, as far as bringing awareness of drag racing to those communities? I think that that's something that our audience would like to hear, because that's something we talk about a lot too. Like, how do we get our message out to the mainstream? You guys are bringing a lot of the flavors of the local community to the drag strip. How is the drag strip getting out to the community around it?
Well, we've been very fortunate to partner with our 2 local cities. We're right in the middle of Waxahachie and Ennis, just 20 miles or so south of Dallas. And they have they've been incredible supporters for the last 40 years. We have our cattle drive in downtown Waxahachie this Friday. It's a free event where all kids and families can come and watch a real cattle drive with real cows and horses and wagons and all the things. And so we go to downtown Waxahachie and we go around their courthouse, and it's a free event for families. It's like a parade. That's an incredible event that the city of Waxahachie partners with us on. And they also partner with us on our Fan Fest, which is next Thursday. We have over 150 drivers, you guys, there to sign autographs. That's JEGS All-Star drivers with NHRA Pro drivers. And so the city partners with us down at Rail Yard Park. We have, bounce houses, live music, food trucks, and then the autograph sessions. And I mean, I'm pretty positive it's the largest fan fest on the NHRA tour by far.
Undoubtedly,
No
Christy,
doubt.
undoubtedly. And I'll tell you, that is one of the messages that I think is important for promoters and track operators to hear, that the bigger you can make your event locally, the easier it is to make it matter to people regionally and nationally. Like, if you can get that local buy-in that way, because I think that, I don't know about you, but I pinch myself every time I see, like, I get an email for almost every ticket that is sold to our events. And when I see somebody coming from France or South Africa or whatever, I'm super excited about that. But, like, you can't count on that. That should be like the special occasion. That's like the cherry on top of the sundae. The real action and the real growth and the real opportunity typically is for the people that live within a couple of 100 miles of the venue. That's where you're going to build a foundation, and then the rest of that is piles on top of. But I don't think a lot of people put enough of a focus on the local community, because if you can get them bought in, the people that live a few miles away or within a half-hour drive, if they're excited about it, oh man, when you get these race fans that come from hundreds or thousands of miles away, it's just icing on the cake.
I totally agree. And, we're super fortunate to have great cities to work with, and they want to be a part of it. Both of those events are free. So families can come out and have a great night with their kids, still get them in bed for school the next day, and then have the opportunity to come out and introduce them to the racers here at the track. We've also been using our 40th anniversary funny car that we wrapped in partnership with Buddy Hull. We've been taking that around to different festivals throughout the DFW area so people can be introduced to the car. There's a QR code on there where they can get a discount on tickets. So we're just trying new things. I mean, when you see a beautiful car wrapped with incredible graphics, that'll stop you. It's a great talking point to get people interested. There's a lot of people that don't realize we're this close to Dallas, and I mean, obviously, y'all know, I mean, Dallas is an extremely hard market. Every type of sporting event is available in Dallas, but, you know, we have worked really hard to remind them that we're here and we were the first. You know, we were one of the very first. I mean, we were the first motorsports venue of this size by far in Texas. And, you know, we're trying to set the pace and keep the pace, you know, 40 years later.
And I think you're doing a hell of a job of it. Do you ever reflect on like how far this has come and how crazy of an idea all of this was when your father, the legendary Billy Meyer, was cooking all of this up? The first like super stadium, so to speak, for drag racing, the first major venue for a drag strip, and to see how many other events and other facilities have tried to, as you mentioned earlier, emulate what exists in Ennis at the Texas Motorplex. Like, do you reflect on that ever? Like how far this has come and how many people have fallen in line and kind of followed the example set by your father and your team?
Absolutely. It, you know, makes me super emotional when I think about it sometimes. This summer we had a small media day when we introduced our new branding for the 40th anniversary and the NHRA and the funny car for our 40th. And my dad and I were talking, and he got real choked up, which is not unusual for him, but in that scenario it was. But, you know, we were just thinking about how the business model was not even to be here for more than 25 years. He assumed, you know, just because of growth and the way the growth was projected in the 80s that Ennis and Waxahachie, you know, would just buy up the land and push us out. And so the fact that we're here 40 years later is kind of wild. And, you know, this was never my plan either. So here I am sitting here doing this when I thought I was just going to be a home economics teacher. Kind of makes me laugh. But, you know, it's funny how God, you know, has a different plan for us. And, you know, I'm just so thankful that I get to do this with my dad. You know, we, like I said, we have our first documentary that came out last Friday, the first episode, and it talks about how Dad came up with the idea, and all the pictures and all the memorabilia we've gone through in the last year is wild. You know, we have so much stuff everywhere. And, you know, it's been super emotional just to see pictures of myself as a kid out here when I was little with my parents and having my kids here now. It's a really cool moment for us as a family. And I'm just super excited to celebrate what our whole team has done, what my dad has done, you know, what we've done together. It's pretty neat.
Are we going to get a cake?
Yeah.
We talked about it. You know, we had back in the day, we used to do cakes. We talked about trying I'm
bringing a cake to the suite on Saturday.
Oh, thank
you. I'm texting Alicia right now.
I told you we throw spaghetti on the wall. And one of the ideas that didn't necessarily stick, I was like, should we break the world record for how many people are eating cake at once? And I was trying to figure out how to have cake for everybody. That one did not stick. We did not pull that one off. But we have a major surprise on Friday night. We have the laser show. We also, you know, one thing we're doing, we have a memorabilia 40th anniversary book that showcases pictures from the major milestones of the Motorplex of the last 40 years. And the first 10,000 fans on Sunday will get that book when they come through the gates. So that will be a piece of history that people will want. It's a beautiful book. It's got places for autographs. So if you're planning on coming on Sunday, get here early. Everything starts an hour earlier this year because we're the Fox NFL adjacent race. And so we're starting to race at 10 a.m. So I'd get here by 8:30, 9 o'clock for opening ceremonies to get that book.
Wow. That's awesome.
Hey, we've got a question in the comments, Christy. Yeah. Where can people go to find that documentary that you're referring to?
Oh, yeah. So it's on YouTube, our Texas Motorplex YouTube channel, and then it's on our Facebook and probably a link somewhere on Instagram. But they're small 10-minute documentary episodes. We have 4 of them that will be coming out. So we'll have one this Friday and one next Friday, and then our final will be in December as we wrap up our 40th season.
Wow. So the 40th is 2026, right? It broke ground in 86.
This is our 40th racing season because we opened on August 1st and we ran the national event in September. So we're celebrating 40 seasons of racing and everybody asks us the way it falls. So not 40th year, but 40th season.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. My dad actually raced there in 1987. I think it wasn't just opened, but it was one of the first few events that you guys had there. It was like a Hot Rod magazine, East meets West shootout this was before Pro Mod, and they had there was like a handful of cars that were like pre-Pro Mod. This was like the original Pro Mods, and they had guys from the West Coast in California meet the guys from the East Coast in Ennis, halfway across the country, and they had a shootout there, and it was probably still one of the coolest things, and probably one of the things that put Pro Mod on the trajectory that it continued on all these years. It was really one of the first like major Pro Mod shootouts. So that's it's definitely rich with history.
It is, and we're very grateful for that. But I love these stories. It's been neat posting stuff every Friday. We have had what's called a 40th Friday on our Facebook, and we've hit up one of our, milestones. And it's so cool to see people's comments. Oh, I was there for that, or I've gone every year with my dad, or my uncle and I. It means a lot because these are people's memories, and life's short, and we can't take it for granted. And to be able to provide a place for people to make memories means a lot to us as a family.
And I don't know about you, but I think about this wild and busy world that we live in with all these various things going on. And as you mentioned, just like in a major market like DFW, there's a million different ways to spend your entertainment dollar. There's a million different ways to spend your weekend. And I have to pinch myself sometimes when I think about the men and women and the young kids and the families that choose to spend their weekend at the drag strip. And it's the thousands of people that I see sitting in the grandstands, oftentimes cooking in the sun. Yeah. You know what I mean? It takes a lot of effort and a lot of willpower and desire to be a drag racing fan, and I applaud these people because I think it is so, maybe we become desensitized to that. Like, these guys could do probably anything they want. They can go wherever. And like, not only are you guys providing a fantastic value to them, I mean, I think that helps a whole lot, but just their willingness and the fact that our sport has this community of people that have made these events into traditions for their families. It's certainly not lost on me.
No, I completely agree with you on that. I mean, there's a million ways, like you said, for people to spend their time and their money. I mean, and so yeah. It is an honor that they choose to be with us for a long, it's not like it's a quick, ordeal. It's a long day if you want to come watch both rounds of qualifying, so it does mean a lot. And that's why we've tried to cater to families. We have the kids zone, we have activities throughout the venue, we have great food options. We have, hopefully people enjoy the shopping options. We have some cool vendors this year, especially at the music festival, and some of them are coming back for the race weekend. If you want a cute cowboy hat, you'll find a great vendor for that. So we try to just really cater to what people can enjoy and spend time together.
And the last thing I saw here recently was Texas Motorplex partners with Neft Vodka.
Yes.
Now you're trying to make sure that Mike and I have a good time.
Good.
And that's very important.
Between cowboy hats, Wes is always on the lookout for a cute cowboy hat.
Hey,
and vodka,
Hey, we can get better. Yeah, it's a new partnership we have with Neft. We're very excited about it. I mean, it's a perfect sponsor for us. They're gonna be at the music festival. They'll be at the Fall Nationals event. So it's, we've got some great drink specials. What we're doing with them. Actually, speaking of drink specials, Friday night of the music festival this week, when Pat Green plays, it's happy hour all day. So we have some awesome drink specials on Friday night, and then Friday night of the Fall Nationals, we have happy hour, the horsepower happy hour, from 5 to 8. So great.
Hold on, I want to bring in our local happy hour expert.
Oh yeah,
JT, what do you think about that?
Horsepower happy hour? Like, can we steal that, JT? We need to write that down. We might need to steal that idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's a good one, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah. I mean, we not only do we have food specials all week, we have drink specials, and we have a 40th anniversary dessert. We have a fried cinnamon roll drizzled with Nutella and cinnamon and sugar and pecans, and it's called the Burnout Bun. So you can find that.
Rum chata.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds amazing.
JT's changing his schedule right now. He's looking to see what he's got going on next weekend. See if he can get down.
I know.
He's like headed to Dallas, big
This is
dog.
where the party is happening,
Oh, no.
So,
I think it's fantastic. What do you make of like bringing in these non-endemic brands? Like, one of the things that I love seeing when I go to your event specifically is seeing like Neft Vodka. Not to go too far in the weeds on this, but I would like to think that you're proud of like bringing in these brands that we're not used to seeing. Like, sometimes this is a conversation I have with my team, is that we can only go back to the well so many times as a sport. Like, we are blessed as a community to have all sorts of people that have invested heavily in the sport of drag racing over the course of decades in many instances, right? I mean, I think a lot of these brands that I see on the walls of racetrack and on the signs on a tower and the signs at scoreboards, there are a lot of the same companies that have been there 30, 40, 50 years. So I think it's important when I see promoters and race operators bringing in these non-endemic sponsors that aren't really part of the motorsports scene or part of the drag racing scene. Is that something that you challenge yourself and your team with, bringing some new blood into our community?
We're always coming up with new ideas. And we work with Ford Sports Marketing with Ryan Haas, who was a previous GM here at the racetrack, and he's a mentor and a good friend of ours. And we sit down and we just come up with crazy ideas. I mean, I just, bless Ryan's heart, I'll send an email with like tons of things I just see across the town, and he's got wonderful ideas. And Ryan's not afraid to hear no. He just keeps going. And so it's really neat. You know, Neft is a new one. We have Sun Cruiser this year. We have Jack Daniels, which Jack Daniels was something I'd wanted for a long time because you see him at a lot of music festivals. So we're trying to get creative and branch out to other sponsors that we see at a lot of music festivals and things like that. We're working with TSTC, the Technical College. You all right there? Cool.
Yeah, but I about choked on oxygen.
Cough drop sponsor. Yeah, that's what we need something.
But TSTC is a new sponsor this year. The technical school out of Waco, they have, you know, branches all over the state of Texas. Obviously, that's a great fit for us. But we have some exciting new partnerships that we are really excited to bring in. You know, American Hat Company. There was a beautiful article about American Hat Company and Fox on the front page of Fox News this week, because there's this like Western resurgence in this, you know, Western lifestyle. And they've been involved in a lot of the TV shows that Taylor Sheridan does. And so that's our sponsor. And those are the hats that we put on our winners. And so to be involved with companies like that are making waves across the Western industry, and we're doing crossover promotion with them, that's huge. So, I mean, I'm really proud of our sponsors, very thankful that they even take the chance on us, you know, and we get to represent their brands. It means a lot.
I'm getting a little inside baseball.
I'm
getting a little inside baseball here. Neft Vodka is actually bringing in their trackside VIP suite and bar to the track, and then it goes to the F1 race the next weekend. I mean, those are the things I'm telling. My personal belief is that we're post-COVID. I think we are in like the era of experiential. People learned what it was like to not have these options, didn't like it. And it seems like people are looking for entertainment. They're looking to go outside. They're looking to go to events. They're looking to be a part of these things. And I look around our space sometimes. I actually went to the PBR event this past weekend in Fort Worth, pro bull riding and professional bull riders. And I want to tip my cap to those guys because they do an absolutely incredible job with their events. But that's what I see is these things kind of smack of a festival. Like there is, whether you're in the parking lot, whether you're in the lobby, whether you're somewhere walking, there's something going on, something to see, something to look at, something to take a photo of every step of the way. And that's how it feels at the Motorplex during the Stampede of Speed.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, we have everything from, I mean, you've been here and you've done it. We've bull riding. We're racing starting Friday afternoon and we race all day till the next Sunday, you know. And so we have the lantern release, we have beer expos, we have barbecue contests, basically anything you can think of that has to do with Texas. It's somewhere woven through, you know, the fabric of the Stampede of Speed. So we're really excited for that because we want families to come out and, I mean, like attention spans are low. People want to jump to a bull riding for a minute and then they want to go have a beer and then they want to taste some barbecue and then they want to watch a race and then they want to go see some good music. You can do it all. So your kid can bounce on the bounce house for just a minute, you know? Yeah. So
do they have any like baby bulls that I could potentially ride? Like ones that are like calm?
You know, Marcus got on a real bull twice, you know? So on Saturday we have the junior bull riding and those are smaller, smaller bulls. So
am I too old to sign up for junior bull riding?
There's mutton busting on Saturday. You could get on a lamb or sheep, you know?
Oh no, that would be embarrassing.
Please, Christy, if he's there,
I've got to at least say it's a bull.
Please get us some video or photos. Call your boy JB Mooney. You never told me the JB Mooney story.
I can tell it to you now.
Well, maybe it might not be for public consumption, but just call him up, man, and see if he can train you up and get you on a bull before next week.
I'm telling you, I felt inspired walking out of that Dickies Arena this past weekend. I'm going, the last thing I need to do is ride a bull, but I may need to tick that box. Like,
I think it's interesting what you said about the growth of the popularity of Western lifestyle. because that's definitely a thing. I mean, you guys are there in Texas, you see it. I'm in North Carolina, and it's made its way here, and we see it on TV shows, all the Taylor Sheridan shows, like you see, and it's really, I don't know how to describe it. And
it's
maybe
never been
like
cooler to be a
underestimating.
cowboy than it is right now today. I mean, it's been since the Marlboro Man, I think, that it's been this cool to be a cowboy.
And I grew up, we grew up rodeoing, and I lived on a ranch and had horses, and we, dabbled and played with we would just get on our cattle. My brother would rope for fun and just let them buck us off. They were little. But, I mean, it's really neat to be able to incorporate that part of our life into this part of our life. And the crossover's wild. I mean, it's insane how we have so many connections in the Western world, in the drag racing world. I don't know that you would ever have thought that, but we're very excited about it. And I went to a Morgan Wallen concert this summer in Cleveland, and to just see all those cowboys out there, it has taken over.
Yeah. And Morgan Wallen is like on the fringe of cowboyhood. You know what I mean? I'm a big Morgan Wallen guy, a big fan. But
well, that's just another part of it, though. That's part of what's getting it, like part of that cool factor, getting it out to the masses. That it's like an unspoken thing. It's like everybody decided at one time that cowboy culture is cool now, right?
It may be Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus's fault.
It might date back to that.
I think they had a lot to do with it. I really do.
We're real excited. This year at our music festival, we're announcing our headliner for next year. So we're ahead of the game. We've booked all of our headliners for next year. So we're already rocking and rolling for 2026. And so we have some fun things up our sleeves.
Oh, I'm excited. Hopefully. Is it Morgan Wallen?
No, I wish, man.
Like, if I could get one photo of
Morgan Wallen show and seeing what he makes per show and the production, it's just mind blowing. It is insane. It was the best show I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I believe it. I'm hoping to check him out like at some point in the next, whenever they go on tour. Is he on tour still? I think he is.
He may be playing in Canada now, but yeah, we were supposed to go to California. We were so excited, taking our family vacation. And my son made U.S. Kids Worlds in Pinehurst in North Carolina with its kids from all over the world. And so we had to cancel our trip. And the only one we could get to was Cleveland. So we ended up in Ohio to see Morgan Wallen. We promised our 13-year-old daughter for her birthday we would find a Morgan Wallen show. So we got to go to Pinehurst and Cleveland. So it worked out.
Yeah, you can't beat it, man. Can't beat it. Well, Christy, thank you so much for spending some time with us. I hope you guys are rewarded with the type of event and the type of support that you absolutely deserve. We appreciate what you do for our sport, what you do for racing here in the DFW area, and the example that you set for a whole lot of people. Man, we appreciate it, and I can't wait to get out there. It's I always tell people that you want your event to be a date that people circle on their calendar. And you guys have most assuredly accomplished that. There's a whole world of people that look to mid-October for heading to the Motorplex. So thank you for that.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It's always a pleasure. And, looking forward to seeing
you in a couple of days.
I get to see you, Wes. Mike, JT, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Yeah, we got to get back down there. We were down there for several years in a row. Yeah. We haven't been in a few years. We got to get back down there soon. So 2026.
Absolutely.
Lock it in. Thank you, Christy. We'll see you soon, okay?
Thanks, y'all.
Take care. All right, guys. Let's take a quick second here before we continue to digest all things Texas Stampede of Speed, and remind you that each and every episode of the Wes Buck Show is made possible by way of Redline Synthetic Oils, formulated to win, proven by you. We're talking about a brand trusted by the best in the business: Ty Teterow, Steve Torrance, Callie Mills, Spencer Hyde, Scott Palmer, Tommy Franklin. The list goes on. These aren't just weekend warriors. These are champions, killers, and contenders who rely on Redline to get it done. Formulated to win, proven by racers like you. Check out the full lineup at redlineoil.com. JT, Mike, I really think maybe we should, they do such a good job. I get on these things when we get to talking to Christy and I get fired up and inspired. They just kill it. They crush it. I mean, I think all of us in the space to some degree are looking toward them, looking toward what they're doing, especially when it comes to creating a festival atmosphere, And
that's, you can imagine how much work that is and stuff. And I know she's tired, man. And she's honestly probably getting close to her finish line when all this stuff starts, because the planning, and like she said, she's already got her stuff lining up for 2026, and we're not even to the 2025 one yet. Right. So the work that it takes for her and her team to do this stuff, I hope she takes a well-deserved rest after this. Let's just say that.
Yeah, she's gonna need to.
And there's so much shit to do. I mean, like from the day you get on the grounds, there's always something to go do. Matter of fact, you miss a lot of it because I mean it's a lot. Couldn't imagine have to work all the stuff.
No, and those guys, the coolest thing, and this is something that I think I really always take away from the Motorplex, is their staff from top to bottom and left to right. They're walking around with a smile on their face. It doesn't matter what they're contending with. It doesn't matter how the schedule is going. It doesn't matter what the weather forecast looks like. You grab any of those guys, Cheeseburger, Eric McClelland, his legal name, but those who know and love him call him Cheeseburger, DeMarcus, everybody, Christy herself, Billy, everybody that you see wearing their Sunday's best at the Texas Motorplex during these events are so happy to be there. I was having this conversation the other day, and it's like when I look at successful events, I look at the people putting them on, and I see one thing that they all have in common is that they love what they're doing. They genuinely are excited about it. They are genuinely passionate about it. It's not fake. It's not a facade. It's not something they're saying for the cameras or saying for the papers. It's something that they cannot wait to do. And if I look around our space and I identify the things that are hot, like I think it's undeniable that Lil Gangsta's racing has become one of the hottest things in drag racing today. And it's no surprise to me that Tommy Gunner and Jimmy Dale and Michael Poland are wound up like physic woodpeckers about what they're doing. They're genuinely excited about it. They're genuinely fired up. They can't wait to go to the next race. I think about, the success that Chris Graves has had with Nitro Chaos and Funny Car Chaos. Like, he genuinely loves this stuff, and you can tell it. You can tell that he is fired up about it. And that's an infectious energy that is.
You got to get your enthusiasm up, Wes, man. Nobody can tell that you like this stuff.
But don't run it. Like, realize that these guys are working their asses off to provide entertainment, to give you a place to race and everything. I mean, it's just so easy for everybody to get caught up in this like, one bad seed, and it's just a cancer that spreads, and one person starts bitching, another person starts bitching. Hell, you don't even have anything to bitch about. Next thing you find yourself doing is bitching too. Well, eventually though, after several years of that, this guy may give up. Really, or this gal or guy or whoever the promoter is. So remember that, that everybody's trying, for the most part.
For the most part, I think it's but it's
we'll have to talk to Swanstrom about that when he gets on here and see what his experience has been so far as a promoter. But let's before we do that, man, we got another guest in the green room.
Let's do it, guys. This was one we've been working on for months. I bumped into this young man, an old friend of mine, someone I've run around with in the drag racing world for many, many moons. And I was walking through the pits at the World Series of Pro Mod this past March, and I hear somebody say, "Hey, Wes." And I look over and I see this guy, and he goes, "Man, you've got me fired up. I want to be a part of this. I don't think I can sit on the sidelines too much longer." And I said, "Really? You might come back?" And he goes, "If you'll have me." And it looks like that's what's about to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Joey Hero Martin.
I think I'm a zero now.
Zero my ass, man. People were genuinely fired up to have you on here, brother. Thanks for taking some time. This is a little self-serving, but I want people to hear the story. I mean, for me, it's a pinch me moment anytime I talk to a racer that says they're going to build a car to come dance with us, to come be a part of what we're doing. So take us through kind of like how we got to this moment here today.
Well, I lived drag racing. I lived it. I breathed it. That's all I cared about. Younger, growing up, I did what I had to do to drive a car. In 2001, Tim Tyndall called me and said he wanted me to build him a car. He wanted me to drive it. And that's the first time. Are you there? Did I lose you?
Yep. You're just talking by yourself right now. It always freaks everybody out when that happens.
From that moment, before that point, it was all me. I owned the cars and, I paid for everything. And he had told me, he said, when I'm done with you, or by the time I'm done with you, you're going to be famous. I just wish you would have threw in the fortune part. But here we are, and I just got burnt out on racing. It started off when I was 15. I started working on cars, and I wanted to go to the track, so I did my own stuff to my car, and then people wanted me to do stuff to theirs. A hobby turned into a job, and I was living it 24/7 for a hobby, and then it turned into a job, and I raced all those years and just got burnt out. I was physically I was getting nauseated going in the shop to work on a race car. I was just sick of cars. And I switched flips and I quit and swore I'd never go back. And I went for many years without even looking at racing and watching anything on the internet. And then you keep popping up and I see your passion. I watch some of your, what we're doing right now. And when Kai Kelly went down there and won in December, I'm like, damn, that's awesome. Because he wasn't supposed to win. Steel body car, you know the deal. He's jumping off into a big pond, something he's never done before. And I got the bug. And I just started talking about it, mentioned it to one of my buddies, and he said, hey, I'm in, I'll help you. And I met, I got to thinking about it, and I called Tim at Synergy, and we talked about a body, and I kicked that around for a couple of weeks, and I talked to another good friend of mine, and he said, I'm in, and it evolved, and I've got a whole list of people here that's helped me since then. So this is like a pipe dream. I can't do it on my own, especially what stuff costs now. But seeing your passion and your drive and your motivation and your enthusiasm about pro mod racing reminded me why I did it. And you've got the biggest show on the face of the planet, and I want to be a part of it while I can still do it physically.
You're making me fucking cry.
Man, that's fucking awesome. It really is.
Man,
and
I
this
think,
right here,
cry.
I think we got to make it official right here, right now.
This right here is one of the main reasons. He's 10 years old. I quit
What's
racing
up, buddy?
11 years ago.
What's up,
And I
man?
want him to see me do it before I kick the bucket.
Heck yeah.
Well, you kicked the
What's up,
bucket,
buddy?
Come on now.
That's LJ for little Joey.
Little Joey.
And he got his name. We went for the first ultrasound, and she said, this is his little peanuts. I said, LJ. And that's been his name ever since.
Hey, Joey, if you let him drive, the car will be even lighter. And I know how much you love your weight.
This is not no ultra lightweight deal. But
He told me he's gonna give us the show.
he's got a
he's got him
over
over
there.
there.
The major guys helping me, David and Sharon Phillips. They give him a junior dragster, but he hadn't got into it yet. But we do launches here in the driveway, but that's about it. We hadn't taken it to the track yet, but we're going to.
Good deal, man.
I got to tell you, Joey, thank you so much for that. It means the world to me, man. And we were talking earlier this week, and, obviously pro mod racing has reached a fever pitch. I mean, this deal is as serious as it gets, as competitive as it gets. But what I was telling you, and I'll repeat it here, is that your story is a story that people can get behind. I think that it's so rare. I mean, in this day and age of hearing everybody talking about, everything's bought and paid for. I mean, we're right now on this moment talking to a guy who decided he wanted to go back pro mod racing and didn't start calling chassis shops or scouring racing junk looking for something to buy, went and built a car himself. So Joey's about to give us a walk around his new
I'm not
C7
a professional
Corvette.
chassis builder. I've done it for 29 years, but that's leftover tubing from when I quit working on cars in 2020 and started another business. So all that rusty tubing turned into this bad baby right here.
Man, look at
Dude,
that.
that C7 body is shout out to Tim Hodgins at Synergy
that's
Composites.
the new ZR1.
This thing is absolutely thick. The body is the strongest multi-piece body on the market. Of course, I got my M&M. I got my Pro line. I got my Hearts charger. I got my HC&D parts, my rear end from them, my anti-roll, my wishbone, a lot of stuff.
Slam that door. Step back and slam that door shut for him. I told him I'm a real stickler for how doors shut on race cars. He sent me a video and he goes, "Does this work?"
So I've got rubber seals on it here, but out of all the years of working on cars, one of my major pet peeves is the doors. I fix people's doors for free just because I don't like the way they open or close. So this baby right here.
Oh yeah.
Don't sag, all perfectly lined up. But the doors is my thing. That's what I.
Well, I tell you what, man, I've always been like that. I was telling you the other day that growing up, my dad was always a stickler for how doors fit, how doors shut, how the deck lid came off and on, how the front end came off and on. And he always was a Don Ness racecraft guy. You could tell a Don Ness car from a mile away. And you have a similar attention to detail. So I love seeing it, bro.
Give us a walk around the rest of that.
Yeah, give us a walk around the rest of the
some
thing.
more of it.
So I got my new, this is a mock-up block that my buddy Big Brad went and got for me from Proline yesterday. new 4.9 block and head, and I got my PRS struts and shocks on it, and HC&D, bunch of their stuff, their strut mounts and all that. But the body, Zeus is on. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 Zeus's across the front. Okay. You open the door. I've got 2 pins on each side of the rocker, 1 Zeus in the center. And then underneath here on the tree, I've got 2 pins, 1 on each side. So it's 6 pins and 8 10 Zeus's, and the body's off in about a minute and 10 seconds. But it being a removable body, it's totally Zeus's on the outside. There's no Zeus's on the front end. It's totally Zeus's also. And then this is a removable body.
We saw
Look
you
how
climbing on
rigid
that
this
thing and jumping on it, but don't do that now
Look
that
how
it's
rigid
painted.
this thing is. Synergy composite, man, and that triaxial carbon fiber they used. I made a post, and that post about the 300 mile per hour thing was not me going 300. It was the fact that the body can go 300. I know Mark Mickey and those guys are kind of leery about going those quarter-mile speeds. And, you know, if the body caves in or the window pulls out or something like that, at 280 miles an hour, it's nothing but a rudder, and off you go, you crash. This body right here, I think it'll go 400.
Oh man, it looks good.
It looks like it's going to go 400 just sitting there.
But,
So I'm sure that thing's real heavy,
don't-
right, Joey? I mean, Joey,
I don't-
for those that don't know, Joey's kind of known, like, lightweight was his thing. And during the PDRA era, when there were no weight rules in Pro Extreme, Joey had probably one of the lightest cars out there. So how's it been, you know, as far as the way the class is now and the way the rules are now, where everything's kind of gone toward a kind of a standard rule set, like a legal rule set, versus the old days when everything was just wide open, you know, adapting to that. Like what's your take on that, and what's your game plan for tackling that now that you're back?
Well, the low mad chassis was 283 pounds, completely done, powder coated. This is 320. I've got a little more bars in it. I got some 065 stuff in it where it could be 058 because I used what I had, doing as cheap as I could do it. But I've got the adjustable strut cups up front. I got the Marty Marilette 4-link brackets. That stuff's heavy. I've got the HC&D chromoly housing. That stuff's heavy, heavier than what I normally use, you know. And I got 1.5" H120 wall 4-link bars. I mean, the car is built heavier just simply because I'm trying to do it. I wouldn't say a shoestring budget this day and time. It's a whole boot budget, but I'm not worried about the weight because, you know, back in the low mad days, it weighed 2240 with me in it. And
Golly.
I was the first one.
That's a 55 Chevy wagon, by the way.
Matt Smith run a 355 1 or 2 weeks before I went to 58 in Maple Grove, driving the Sheik's car over there in Qatar. And of course, it didn't last long, but I was still the first one to do it in the United States. But the difference between about 3,000 horsepower and 4,300 horsepower is, I noticed the times from last weekend or the weekend before, these cars weighing 2,640 pounds, somewhere in that area. They 60 foot and 893 with a 238 330. I was 894 with a 238 330, but I was 2,200 pounds. They're 400 pounds more. So that's the difference in 3,000 horsepower and about 4,300 horsepower. So
yep,
it's incredible.
Yeah, everything's got to be more rigid, man. These
everybody
these cars
in the
are
comments,
making so much power now.
What does that body weigh? You were telling me like the entire body, it was crazy light.
Everything, the wing, the deck lid, doors, front end, everything, 64 pounds out of the box. So I'm giving
those things are awesome, man.
And
I got to see Derek Minholtz at Charlotte a couple weeks ago. Of course, it's fully assembled and painted, but Justin Swanstrom's actually got one of these things too, and I saw it. It's still bare carbon, and they're just finishing it up. So we'll have to talk to him about that. But everybody that's got one has been impressed with it so far.
Yeah, I watch Cletus and I watch Justin and I watch a lot of those guys, and me and everybody that knows me think or say, man, if that stuff was around when I was in my heyday, because I built a car all by myself, all by myself, lonesome, from conception to ordering everything to building it to cranking it to go to the track in 3 months. And this car here, I've been working on it 4.5 months, but I work on it when I can, because I work during the day, regular job. But here's of course, I got my.
What's your regular job, Joey?
I got a skid steer and excavator, do mulching and land clearing, small scale land clearing. The smaller jobs that the big companies don't want to do is what I'm doing. But
I love it.
We're
Where did
kinda
the blue come
reintroducing
from?
you to the audience here?
Where did
Where
the
did what?
the light blue come from?
I've always been a blue person. My mom's was blue back in the 90s. I wanted something different. I was going to do that blue. It's got a purple tint to it. It's on the Chevy Trailblazers, but I just couldn't do it. And this is rapid blue that's on the new C8 Corvettes. It's a solid color, non-metallic. But this right here, what's that button? We left the top of it,
Oh, bare carbon.
the carbon fiber, and cleared over top of it. I don't know if you can see the depth of that weave on the carbon fiber, but the hood's going to be the same way.
Oh, badass. I
Yeah,
like
that's-
that, man.
that's
Love
pretty
a
slick, man.
factory color on these cars. Like, I know that the Pro Mod kind of claim to fame as these wild and crazy paint jobs, but I actually love one of these things that roll out with a factory style paint job on it. Oh,
The
yeah.
front end's not painted yet. I hadn't been able to bolt the blower on the motor yet to bond in my air intake to center it up on the blower. But I'll be able to do that tomorrow. But my center of the hood's going to be clear carbon all the way down to here. And then, of course, this will be black with some vents in it. But
I like
did an
it.
awesome job on this body, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
fantastic.
I don't know how to like all the. I don't want to get too technical. We'd have to have Tim on to talk about that. But the fact that it's a triaxial weave, as you said, it basically instead of the fibers going 2 directions, they go 3, and this is without adding more weight, and it's like a dramatically stronger and higher tech fiber that they're using. Between that process and the fiber, the body is like it just miles more rigid than the previous stuff.
I can't forget this baby, that Harts Charger.
Golly, those things are enormous.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. I'm excited, man. I'm genuinely excited to have you be a part of this, kind of join our little fraternity that we have created down at Bradenton Motorsports Park for the Winter Series. And it's you're going to be a perfect fit to what we're doing down here, man. I honestly can't wait.
Well, obviously, I can't afford to do all the testing. Like them guys go down there and test all week. And man, when we go to the track with this thing with Petty and test it in November, if it'll run about a 62, I'm good for first round of qualifying because I know 5 rounds of qualifying, correct?
Correct.
I mean, there's no reason this thing won't run a 60, 59, 58, somewhere in that area. I got the latest body. I got the Harts Charger. I got the latest 4.9 PLR motor. And, going to get the tune up from Petty. So I hope to be My original goal was to get the body, and I was going to work on it as I can and be ready for next year, December 26th. And things started coming together. And the big thing was about 2.5 months ago, a buddy texted me. I said, "What, you want to buy me a motor?" And he texted back and said, "I can." The next day, he sent money to Proline. So I'm like, it's a mad thrash now. We go in this December.
Oh, isn't that amazing, man? And that to me, and I know that like we can obviously talk a lot about how much this stuff costs, and there's no doubt that this is not a cheap endeavor. But I do think that some of the magic of Pro Modified is that you can go about it this way. Like if you're an able-bodied individual, someone like a Joey Martin that can do a lot of the work themselves, you can put together a Pro Mod. You can lean on some of your friends. I've got a transmission, I've got a motor, or I'll buy this, you buy that.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a truck and trailer, you've got a chassis. I mean, the Pro Mod dream is alive and well. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying everybody can do it. But I really think that that's the magic of what's happening in this space right now is that the fire is burning. The dream is still alive. You can get a group of 5 or 6 of your buddies together and probably, are you going to be able to go run with Stevie Jackson? Are you going to be able to go run with Steve King? Maybe not. But can you be guilty by association? Can you play in the same pool? You absolutely can. And I think that that is one of the really the most special parts about pro modified drag racing right now. I mean, there's obviously levels to this, and there are some places and sanctions that are more, competitive than others. But by and large, there's a pathway to get in. If you want it bad enough, you can go pro modified racing.
Well, I'm not coming back racing full time. I'm building this for Drag Illustrated Winter Series. That's the whole purpose of this. I don't care about going to nothing else. It's Drag Illustrated. I'm sure if I go down there and do good and be able to get some funding, I'll go run a couple races next year. I quit racing in 2014. The last time I crawled in one was 2016. I drove Wesley Jones Willis, which is ironic. That's the first pro mod I ever drove in 2005, and the last one I drove in 2016.
Wow.
So, but this whole deal is because of you, your enthusiasm, your drive, your veins popping out, your goosebumps popping up when you talk about it. I want to be a part of that, and that's what I'm doing this for.
Man, it means the world to me. I can't tell you. I mean, literally, like I was teary-eyed a second ago. Now I got goosebumps again. I'll probably puke after this, but to me, it's a dream realized. I love this stuff more than anything.
Give him the formal invite.
Man. Hey, Joey, let's make this official here in front of God and everybody else on the World Wide Web. You want to come down and run with us? You want to go to the big dance? You want to come to the Winter Series? All right.
Absolutely.
Here in about 5 minutes.
First, though.
Okay, real quick. Go ahead.
I got to name the people that's made this possible.
Do it. The floor is yours, Joey.
Lee Coleman, Jay Ash, David and Sharon Phillips, David Cooper, David Perry, Driftwood Fabrication. He's the one that painted this thing. Dole and Patrick Ellis, Craig Tate, Synergy Composites, PRS, Adam Lambert, Proline, of course, Steve Petty and Eric Dillard, Hearts Charger, Roger and Dustin, M&M Transmission, of course, Mark Mickey, HC&D, Brian at HC&D, Alliance Racewear, Steve Holloway, Thermodyne Powder Coating, Big Brad, my neighbor to the east, Eddie English, my neighbor to the west, Eric Terrell, and last but not least, Drag Illustrated. And that's not all that's helped me. That's just what I could think of off the top of my head when you called and said, hey, let's do this today. So
you've officially made me cry.
And anybody that I don't know that wants to help, I'm accepting donations.
There's extra space on that paper. Yeah, there's extra space.
But seriously, man, I mean, to me, I never thought, like, when I got into this whole deal, I mean, we're celebrating 20 years at Drag Illustrated this month. We kicked the doors open on this deal October 5th, 2005. And to be here today where we've got guys like Joey Martin that I idolized and looked up to and followed around the country in my little piece of shit 96 Chevy Lumina, driving all over creation to go watch you guys race. To think that you built a car to come run with us is pretty much all I need to hear to keep doing this. And like I said, I'm going to get emotional, but it means a lot, Joey.
Well, I appreciate. Yeah, I mean, you are the reason. That's the only thing. So you remember Steve McLemore used to own Medicine Man, the horrible fire Brian Dyer was in up there, House of Hook. Well, we're good buddies. We talk all the time. He'll call me. I won the lottery. You gonna be my driver? I'm like, man. Well, after I watched Kyle go down there and it got me pumped up about this, he called me and said, I got $20 million. You ready to go racing? And I had to stick to what I've been telling him for the last 11 years. You're crazy as shit. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, you just don't know yet.
Yeah, the phone's about to ring. No, I mean, it's a crazy thing, man. And I'm so proud of it. I'm proud of these guys. I was doing an interview with Flow Racing last week in Austin, and they were asking me about how competitive it's all become. And I said, this isn't a testament to us. It's a testament to these racers. I mean, we have got the baddest SOBs on the planet Earth. It don't matter if you make your living, outside of drag racing, if you race Top Fuel, if you race Funny Car, you race Pro Stock, anybody who's anybody is in Bradenton, Florida, December, January, and February, trying to see who's who. And the fact that we've got, I mean, imagine a world where else in the world could you potentially line up against Antron Brown, Joey, or line up against Erica Enders, right? Seeing all these people, champions from other series, Tommy Franklin, Keith Haney, Stevie Jackson, guys that are racing every weekend for NHRA. I mean, and we've got some big things coming, some big stuff in the works, some other new fresh faces to the pro mod scene. And I kind of feel like what we've got is, it kind of, to me, reminds me of the Chili Bowl in sprint car racing. you know, I mean, you got Kyle Larson there, you got Cruz Pedregon there, you got Ron Capps there, you got all these guys from different walks of the motorsports life that come together every year in Tulsa to see who's who behind the wheel of a 410 sprint car. And I feel like we've turned Pro Mod into that for drag racing. And you may go run Top Fuel, you may go run Pro Stock, but as soon as November comes, your eyes turn to the winter and what's going to happen at Bradenton. And I'm super, super pumped to have you be a part of it, man.
Well, I was coming to the one in January, but I'm in the panhandle of Florida. I was snowed in for 6 days. We could not leave my driveway. The road was iced over for 5 or 6 days. And
It
so
was
I made
wild,
it down
man.
there for
It
World
was cold.
Finals. Well, I had 11 inches of snow in my front yard right here in Florida. So when I made it down there in February for the World Finals, the energy, I won't say it was like ADRL in the heyday when you had all the people there. It was above that. The energy was off the chain. And I'm like, I got to put something together. I want to be here for this.
I think about Friday night qualifying, the final session of qualifying this year at the World Series of Pro Mod. I don't know that I've ever felt that type of electricity at the drag strip. I'm obviously biased, but I mean, it was drivers, crew chiefs walking around, chewing their fingernails off, one record run after another record run, one personal best after another personal best. And the bump spot just kept getting lower and lower and lower. And when you look to the staging lanes, you still saw 50 guys that hadn't run yet. And it was the most electric thing that I've ever experienced at a drag strip. And we hadn't even started running for the money yet, you know? And I tell people all the time that I want our events, I want the first round of qualifying to be as exciting as the final round of the US Nationals. I want every single time these guys get on that starting line, I want it to matter. And here we are where that's the case. And I feel like that type of environment, it brings the best out of guys. Like we see people at their absolute best. We see guys make mistakes that they would never make anywhere else because of the pressure, because of the energy. And to me, that's like the coolest part of the whole deal.
Well, I'm stepping off in the world I've never been in with this fuel injection stuff. You know, back when the Lomad, when Tony was still around and we was running so good in 2011, me, him, and Paul, his son, we looked at the situation, we looked at the tune-up, and we all made suggestions, and we all agreed on if one of us said, no, I don't think we should do that, we didn't do that. But I've only seen a fuel tech graph on a laptop one time in my life, and now here I am getting all this stuff, you know, the best, everything you got to have now to make that power and run fast. And, you know, I'm supposed to get a tune-up from Proline, and they assured me that with common sense that I should be able to maintain, you know, so.
It's pretty amazing, man.
Really, don't be laughing at me
wild.
if I get out there and can't go down the track.
Nah, man.
Never.
You'll get it
man.
together. You'll get it together. Like Wes said, though, man, we've seen, I remember the first round. Was it first round or first round of qualifying at the first World Series of Pro Mod that we had at Bradenton? And it was Tommy Franklin and Jason Harris, two of the best out there. And they both do their burnouts and the parachutes come out at the end of the burnout. Or was it?
It was Tommy's car.
Both of them have that happen? And then what happened to Jason's car? Something else happened. So it was like me and Wes looked at each other, and it's just like that moment that you're talking about where the best of the best even feel the pressure, man. That's something that, yeah, I think you felt a little bit of it there when you came to the event, but when you get behind the wheel and pull up, you make that turn around the water box, see all those people on the starting line, all our signage and all that stuff. It's something, I mean, we're not making it up. We've heard it from Erica Enders. We've heard it from the best of the best that there's just nothing like it. So I'm excited for you to have that experience come December.
That's another thing. I hadn't been in a car in 9 years, hadn't raced competitively since 2014. I hope I still got it. You know, I'm from the air, no shift light, no auto shift, no tachometer. It was sound and feel. I mean, you know, I shifted low mad between 99 and 10.3, and I would hit them within 40. Run after run, and now this is auto shift, and you know, it's just I'm sure my shirt's gonna be doing this when I get in it for the first time. Probably.
Oh yeah, man! I'll never forget Marcus Burt, who's I think one of the best drivers in our space today. He came down for World Series in 24, and he told me, he goes, "Man, when I let off that trans brake button, I about pissed my pants." He goes, "I was so nervous." So he was all them people, all this publicity, like. all these cameras, all these people along the guard walls shooting pictures, taking video. And he's like, and Jason Harris told me the same thing. He said, Wes, I could feel my heartbeat in my Hans device.
Yeah.
You know, like boom, boom. And this is a guy who's a multi-time world champion. He's done it all. And I'm going, that's something for us. That's a feather in our cap, man, to be able to create an environment like that. Scott Tidwell told me that a couple of days ago. He was telling somebody you need to come run the winter series. And they said, really? Is it that big of a deal? And he goes, if you go to one, you'll never miss it ever again in your life. If you're racing, you'll never not go. You'll never not go. And it's a pretty cool thing, man. I genuinely excited to have you be a part of it, man. It's and I'm excited for you to roll that thing out and see what's what. What do you think? You were talking early November is kind of the target.
It's gonna be probably mid November. We're supposed to go to Steel.
Okay, go down there and see Jason Collins and the boys, and they've got that place. I mean, it's always been a killer track, but man, all the money that's been spent turning that place into a premier Saturday night drag strip is pretty cool. You won't have any trouble there.
Yeah, I went over there to the thing TJ Pruitt put on the Night of Fire last month.
Yeah,
I went over there with Doyle Ellis. Speaking of Doyle Ellis, see, when I first was getting this car deal put together and figuring out how to get it done, people say, how you gonna haul it? I'm like, dude, if I got to go to U-Haul and roll in the pits with 2 tires on the ground, I won't be there if I can. Well, he's gonna let me use his tow rig, stacker and toter and everything to go down there for these 3 races. And then if it works out, I bought a motorhome a couple of weeks ago, but I still got to get a trailer. But if everything works out, I'll be looking for a trailer for my own stuff.
Oh, dude, it's awesome, man. You deserve all the support you get, man. And we'll be here every step of the way for you, I promise, because it's these are the stories that are worth telling. This is the type of stuff that, I mean, I hope it's conversations like this that has somebody else that's sitting and waiting in the, kind of sitting on the sidelines or wanting to put something together. I hope this is what motivates them. Hey, little Joey. Hey, LJ.
I want that fella right there to remember something. When he's my age. Oh, speaking of my age, that picture you put up on the thing there. Look, ain't got no color no more.
That's the last time you made a public appearance, man. That's all JT could find.
And I'm 55.
Oh, man. No, we're excited. Are you bringing LJ with you? Is he coming along? Okay, great. I can't wait to meet him. How old is he?
He's 10.
10? Okay, like my dog. He looked about the age of my dog.
He's a genius. The school, we had to do a test on him for the school, and he is grade 13 reading comprehension and 8th and 9th, 10th, 11th grade in reading and math, and he's in 4th
He gets
grade.
that from you, probably, Joey.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Oh yeah, you're in 5th grade, boy. Dang, where's the time gone? See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, Dwayne Royal's in here saying this definitely motivates me to finish my car. I mean, and that's what our sport needs more of. Like, I think there's so many horror stories in drag racing, like chassis shop jail, right? If I had $1 for every racer I've talked to who told me they put a deposit down on a car and 3 years later they still didn't have one, and by the time they finally had a rolling chassis, they were ready to go bass fishing, right? And I think that that's one of the worst things for our sport is all these horror stories that exist. And I think we need more stories like this that show that it can happen. It can be done with the right group of people and the right amount of, elbow grease and a big dream and a whole lot of fire in your belly. You can make it happen, man. And I'm genuinely excited about it. This is going to be a hell of a time.
When I would build a car, that's it. That's all I worked on. 12, 14, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 months. When I built Gene Hector's car, when I built the 2 Camaros in 2014 with Neil Wanning, I had one guy, he's done passed away now, Mark Houston. He come and helped me cut tubing and stuff. But I built 2 jigs, set them up side by side. I've been 1 hoop, I've been 2 hoop. I built 2 cars in 3.5 months from conception to turnkey by myself, doing all the welding, all the notching, 2 cars in 3.5 months.
Holy moly.
That's quicker than most chassis shops, man. But like you said, you got burnt out though. And that's probably, you were working yourself too hard there. So good to see you took the much needed rest, and looking forward to having you back out there, man. We'll see you in December, but keep us posted on what's happening with your testing between now and then.
Okay.
Dude, he's got the Drag Illustrated logo is the size of Texas on the back of his fire suit.
Oh, hold on a second. Don't go nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. He sent me this picture just totally. He's like, hey, I just want to show you this. Look at that.
This is my racewear right here.
Isn't that badass? I thought, man,
That
that
right there.
Yeah, that's
that
awesome.
Free Trade Consultants. That's Dave and Sharon Phillips. That's me. Man, I got Ellis Crane Works. I got Harts Charger. I got Driftwood. I got Proline. I got JMRC. I got Thermodyne. I got Jay Asher's company, GSS. I got Lee Collins' company, CAT LLC. But it wouldn't be possible without all them people.
you didn't miss a trick there, Joey. You're like a real deal race
You got
car
it covered,
driver.
man.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
I got my daughter, which is 35 now, and I got LJ on the other leg.
Oh, that is
And I
awesome.
That's awesome, man.
David Cooper on the arm. So all them people is the reason y'all see me racing again.
Well, we can't wait to see it unfold, man. This is going to be a hell of a fun story to tell, and I hope we get to do this for many years together, brother. We appreciate you taking some time and shooting the breeze with us here on the show, and I'll see you soon, okay?
All right, see you.
Appreciate it, Joey. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Joey.
See you,
y'all
LJ.
later.
All right,
Bye.
guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, what a cutie. From a spectator's view, once you go to a winter series race, especially World Series of Pro Mod, you will always go back also. Thank you, Trav. It means a lot, man. It's a grind at times. It's a lot of work. Like, we've been going over these rules, Mike. I mean, you and I are on the phone 10 times a day, every day, talking about this, talking about that, trying to figure this out, trying to figure that out. And there are days when you're going, what are we doing? It's like, what are we doing to ourselves? Like,
Been many of those. Been many of those. But it's
then-
worth it, man. But you see that kind of stuff, yeah, like you're saying, you see Joey and what he's putting into it, and you have to remember that every one of these teams are putting in that effort, and it's how important it is. So then you get kind of remotivated to continue on and
yeah,
keep
shit.
up
Like,
the
I want to
work.
jump
But,
on a conference call right now. Ring up Vic, ring up the whole squad,
Yeah.
ring up Nancy and JT. Let's get on the phone, start talking about something. Like, let's be working on something. Wasn't that awesome?
It is. It just, I mean, like, gosh, I don't know what to say.
No, I mean, it's really like rarely is anybody on this screen right now at a loss for words, but it is. It's like, it's such a humbling thing to hear. I mean, because we know what these things cost. It doesn't matter if you do it yourself. The shit's expensive. It's
Yeah.
extremely.
he had it written. He had Drag Illustrated written on his paper, and then that's one thing that was awesome. Then he's got it on his fire suit, man. I mean, that's just an awesome deal. Like, I don't know, like, you don't ever want to like go out looking for that, but a lot of times you forget to like you were saying, JT, earlier, you complain enough or whatever. Like, a lot of times we forget the good stuff, and we forget the compliments, and we forget the positivity, like that's what that's all about.
No, that's the type of energy. That's the type of shit that has you jumping out of bed in the morning, like, can't wait to do this. And it's like, we're 70 days away from the Snowbird Outlaw Nationals presented by Motion Raceworks. And it's like, I can't wait to get there now.
Speaking of Motion Raceworks, big news today that they bought Mark Williams. So I just want
Mark Williams Enterprises
drop that comment in here.
Yeah, Rod Hagen. It's huge news, man. And it's great to see. For me, I like seeing a lot of these legacy brands in our sport typically get bought up by like private equity, right? These big conglomerates, and we all know what happens. Like, I'm not saying that private equity is universally bad, but there are a lot of examples that I can give you of companies that have been gobbled up by private equity and quickly lose their heart and soul, right? Yeah. And I think that one of the coolest things about like Doug Cook's whole crew up there, in Florida and Iowa and everywhere in between, is that these guys love this shit and they reinvest in the sport. And to see them keeping these brands alive and thriving, like Mark Williams Enterprises is one of those brands that you would expect to see gobbled up by private equity, right? This is an iconic brand in our space. They've been around for about 60 years.
Not seeing those companies go to that. So
yeah, 100%. So I think this is a big victory for the space in a lot of different ways, man. Mark Williams, we've done a lot of business with Mark Williams Enterprises over the years, and I'm excited to see them with a bright, shiny future ahead of them. Guys, we've got our next guest already in the green room. He's been doing something of a media tour, a media blitz on the heels of his first NHRA Mountain Motor Pro Stock World Champion. Let's give it up for one of my dear friends. I got to do some storytelling about this old boy, the one, the only John DeFlorian.
Hey,
What's up, John?
hey, how you guys doing? Thank you.
Thank you, John. I mean, congratulations. Where do we even begin? A good old boy from Missouri who's been building these race cars with his own two hands for as long as I've been alive and then some, putting together a championship run here in 2025, sealing the deal at your home track in St. Louis. I mean, Brett Kepner and I were having this conversation one night. There may be, I mean, has anybody made more trips down Gateway's quarter mile or eighth mile there than John DeFlorian? Probably not. And every car that you guys have finished up at Jerry Haas Race Cars, more often than not, you're the one shaking it down. And what was it like to seal the deal on the hometown field?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, I'm absolutely speechless for the fact, as you mentioned, I actually started racing there when the old track was there, running the opposite direction. So to come home and all the people that were there, friends, family, but a lot of the guys I raced with, bracket racing way back when I started this deal, they're all there. So to have this happen at home was over the top. And I could never wish anything greater than that, because it was amazing experience. But I will say this, it was incredibly stressful leading to it.
I can imagine, man, because it's like for, Mountain Motor Pro Stock has been in a real state of flux for the last several years, right? There's been, things come and go, a contingent of cars that are dedicated to one series. And we've seen in recent years, they're kind of becoming a little spread out across a multitude of different series, but you chose to kind of really go after this NHRA championship. What was like the driving force behind that? Just that significance and the heft of the NHRA brand. I mean, no matter what anybody wants to say, I mean, myself and everybody else involved, really, I feel should tip our caps regularly to a 75-year tradition that is the NHRA. For whatever they may do wrong from time to time, I can tell you there's an infinite amount of good that they have done for the sport of drag racing. I don't know that any of us would be here if it weren't for Wally Park's vision for drag racing and what the NHRA has become. Was being a part of that rich tradition and holding that Wally, was that a lot of the driving force behind your decision to pursue a championship season or a championship run in the NHRA JHG Mountain Motor Pro Stock Series?
Yeah, without a doubt. You got to remember, I've been around for a long time and watched drag racing way back when, and I've been a part of drag racing, but from a much lower level, as far as bracket racing and all that stuff. And but knowing the NHRA was the highest, there was the pinnacle of racing, and if you had success at that level, you had success at the highest level. The best of the best are over there. And so for me, it was kind of a no-brainer to do that. At the time, there was, as you mentioned earlier, there was a lot of flux going on within the Mountain Motor Pro Stock class. I love racing. I'll race anything, anytime, anywhere. But if I have my choice, I love quarter mile racing. I love quarter mile racing. And one of these cars, there's nothing more enjoyable than you're very busy as a driver all the way to fifth gear. So you're down there about half track before you get to actually sit back and actually enjoy the ride. And that's why quarter mile I love so much, and going, 225 miles an hour plus is an amazing experience. But again, to hold the Wally, that's pretty coveted. I mean, it's hard to do. I never believe me, I never anticipated or expected to ever hold a Wally. I really didn't. I knew my lane, and I tried to stay in my lane as far as racing, but through a lot of really good people that came along through my racing career, it kind of opened up the door to have some opportunity to try to race over there. And for me, I'm really dependent on support. I need help and sponsorship because I'm a regular working guy, just like a lot of us are. We go to work every day. And on that stage, it opened the door for help. Total Seal Matt Hartford came on board with me last year, at the beginning of last year, because of the exposure in NHRA, and because of that actually kept me out racing. I got to be honest. I mean, it looked bleak. I didn't think I was going to be able to continue to go. I just didn't have the financial resources to do it. And with them coming on board, and it was because of the exposure we got in NHRA that opened that door up. Matt came on board. And from that point, it's kind of the rest is history to a certain degree, because we wouldn't have been there if it weren't for him, and then other companies. I mean, Amsoil and Graver Concrete, Black Diamond Motorsports, all these people that have been on board, stayed on board and wanted to be on board, especially when it's going to be exposed to the level of NHRA. And that's a lot of my decision making right there.
One of the things that we just had a fantastic conversation with a pro mod icon, Joey Martin, kind of a renowned do-it-yourselfer, and I kind of lump you into that exact same category, John. And I have been given explicit instructions not to blow up the feature story that Brett Kepner is working on about the the trials and tribulations of not only your entire career, but this most recent season and what's gone on in 2025 and the battle you fought. But I think it's an inspiring tale for people to know that you are a regular guy, right? This is not someone that's got access to endless wealth. This isn't someone who's got millions of dollars in sponsorship or a sideline business that offsets his racing hobby. Can you just talk about the battle that this is? Because I think a lot of people get to see you on the racetrack, and I would argue that you really make it look pretty easy out there, John. I mean, you're a great race car driver. You've got great equipment. You guys run at the front. You do a fantastic job. But those 4 qualifying sessions and those 4 rounds of eliminations are really a minuscule example of what actually goes into doing this. Like, I know you and your wife really, really, really well. I've known you guys for decades, and I see this couple that hops in behind the wheel of their motorhome, drives their rig all over creation. I've heard all the stories throughout this year of going and dropping off a motor. And can you give us a little bit of a peek behind, the scenes of what it takes to pull this off? Because I don't know that, and I think people need to hear it. It's an inspiring thing. It can be done.
You're 100% right. What we get to see, or the fans and spectators get to see on the racetrack, is the end result. To leading up to that is immense amount of commitment, sacrifice, dedication. There's a lot of functions, family functions, things that I sacrifice, I don't go to because the car needs attention. And it does take that. And I am just a regular working guy. I work a regular job like everybody else. I build race cars, but I don't have any immense amount of wealth, and I don't have immense amount of sponsorship wealth either. So it takes, in order to do this, I got to do as much of this as I could possibly do myself in order to be able to afford it. And so, as you mentioned a minute ago, my wife and myself and the dogs, we load up in the motorhome and we take off, and and it's us. There's no other drivers. If the motorhome is moving down the highway, I'm behind the wheel, just for the fact that's all there is. And my wife doesn't want nothing to do with driving it. So that's just the way it goes. And so we take off to like Epping, New Hampshire, for example. That's an actual 24 hours of actual seat time of driving to get there. And that's stuff that people don't see. They don't see all the behind the scenes. Earlier this year, you mentioned that, it's been a pretty crazy year. The very first race, the motor, we broke a crankshaft in first round of eliminations in 5th gear at 8,000 RPM. It destroyed the engine. If John Kazi doesn't do what he did, he jumped through hoops to make sure that the motor got back together and ready to go. But that was all night driving. I was taking off and driving all night to get down there, get the motor, get back, working it. I work in the garage every single night, 10, 11 o'clock at night, working on the car, prepping everything, getting things ready. And that particular case there, come back, put the car all back together, load everything up, and we took off for Epping. And I had people ask me, "Are you out of your mind? You're not even going to test?" I go, "I didn't. Not only did I not test, I never even started the motor until we got to Epping." And that's just the way it is. But yeah, there's a tremendous amount of sacrifice that goes in, lots and lots of hours behind the scenes that people don't see, whether it's working on the truck or the trailer or the car. I mean, I got to work on it all. It's all I got to try to hold it all together, but it's also a passion for me. It's what I love to do. I love working on the race car. The one thing I love more than anything is being in the race car. When I'm in the race car, I'm in my happy place, right? But I know that comes at a cost, and the cost is the sacrifice of multitude of hours of prepping and getting things ready to go and being ready and prepared when we get to the racetrack, so we don't go out there and look foolish and don't get the job done. So yeah, it is a lot. But you know what? If anybody wants to do it, they can. If they want to sacrifice it, they want to put the dedication, time, and hours into it, they can do it. I'm proof of that. I'm not a big money guy, but I've had a lot of good people in my corner over the years. That's really helped a lot to make it happen. And the time that I dedicate to it is how we manage to get to these races.
No, how much do you think, like, all the relationships and all the experience, like, you get into this moment where it's on your shoulders, right? Do you think back to all the different cars you've worked on, all the different programs you've lent a helping hand to, like, because I think sometimes people don't, like, there's value in that as well. Like, maybe there's not the glory, right, associated with getting to be the driver or be the one standing in the winner's circle. But I mean, how much do you think all the races that you've gone to where you weren't driving your own car, you weren't racing your own car, going and helping customers of Jerry Haas race cars, helping your friends and your various, brothers and sisters in arms here in the drag racing community? Because I think sometimes people are hesitant to be involved if they can't be the quarterback, if they can't be the one that's behind the wheel. But would you think that, could you, do you believe there's value in just being there and being hands-on and being involved? Because I think about some young people that come up to me all the time and say, man, I want to go drag racing. I want to get involved in this, or how do I do it? And I can't afford a race car. Well, dude, there's great experience and great value that comes from just going and being a part of a team. How much do you think that has contributed, the network you've built, over the course of a lifetime at the drag strip? How much has that contributed to the situation you find yourself in now, rocking the jacket as an NHRA champion?
Yes, it's absolutely hugely beneficial, because the amount of knowledge you're getting, even if you're not driving, even if you don't have your own race team, if you're working on a race team or with somebody or helping somebody with a car, that is invaluable. That information and knowledge you get from every car you work on. And you know what? It doesn't matter what kind of car it is. It can be a bracket race car. It can be a top sportsman car. It can be a pro mod car, mountain motor car. It doesn't matter, because you're learning so much all the time. And if you go to the races and you're doing that, you also never know what doors might open just because you're there. If you're out there, you're busting your butt, you're working hard, you're learning, you have a knowledge of what's going on. People see that around you, and you never know what door might open because of it. And a lot of the things that's happened for me was from that very thing of just being at the racetrack, being committed and dedicated to the sport, because I love the sport, and people see that. And a lot of times people want to be involved with people that approach the sport this way, that want to be around, that want to be out there working. Even if they're not in the driver's seat, they're still there, and they're committed and dedicated. And people notice that, see that. But there's a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge you're going to get from just being at the racetrack every week, every day, every time you can, and be around a car learning. It's going to benefit you immensely through your racing career, and it'll potentially open up doors you will never even know unless you go and find out.
Well, I'm glad you shared that, because I think it's important for people to hear. Like, we were just talking with Joey about how there's so many horror stories that are associated with drag racing, right? Spent all this money, broke all my stuff, whatever, made a deposit at a chassis shop. It took forever. And by the time I had a car, I was ready to go do something else, or I'd lost the bug, or I'd lost the itch to go racing. And I think it's important to remind people that, like, there's also an infinite number of really magical stories that need to be shared, and people need to have their eyes open to, like, there really is opportunity out here. Is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Is it going to require some sleepless nights and all of that? Absolutely. But it is possible. And I think guys like you are proof positive that, John. I mean, and I appreciate it. Fighting the good fight, sticking it out. Where does this, is this one of those I have nothing left to accomplish type of situations? I saw the emotional reaction from you in the winner's circle, and you're choking up, you're teary-eyed. This is you're a big feeler, much like I am. It's something I know about you. Is there, what comes next, or how does this feel? Is this like a culmination of, I can kind of rest easy that I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and whatever comes next, great? But do you feel like you're now playing with house money a little bit?
Yeah, it's funny, because it just now offers another challenge, as this sport does. The sport challenges you. I'll tell you what, and I said this earlier this year, I said, if there's ever a sport that will break you, this is the sport that will break you. And it's going to test your resolve and your commitment and what you're willing to do and dedicate to it and sacrifice for it. But if you do that, you can come through, and you can come back through to the other side and experience the good side. How this all played out and this went, it just is funny to me, because now it offers another challenge, and that's what it's all about. This racing thing's a challenge to see what you can achieve and what you can accomplish. So now the challenge for me is to say, okay, well, we were fortunate enough. We had great things happen, but let's see if we can do it again. Let's keep working hard. Let's try to see if we can make the car faster, run better, more consistent, whatever the case may be. And so it doesn't stop for me. And, good Lord willing, as long as I have my health and I can keep getting in and out of that car, I'm going to race for as long as I possibly can. There's no place I'd rather be but in that race car. And that's all I do. In other words, I build race cars every day, all day long, and I come home and I work on my race car at night. But that's what I love. That's my passion. It's what drives me every day. And I can't see myself doing anything else. And I honestly, I can't see myself retiring. I don't think I'll ever retire. Even if I can't race at this level, I'll probably go back bracket racing again, which I still do, from time to time. So, it's just about the joy of being in a race car, going up and down the racetrack. It's undescribable. And I highly recommend anybody that is even remotely interested in a car and racing to get involved. You'll never regret it. The reward is immense, but it'll test you all the way.
It will, and I think that's why the reward is so great. We had Mike Galimi from Hot Rod Magazine on the show last week, and we were talking about what's the allure of Hot Rod Drag Week, and the first word out of his mouth was the words "the challenge," because that is the driving factor. That is the motivator. Like, if it was easy, it wouldn't be so rewarding. The fact that it's so hard, and the fact that there are so many ways to screw it up, that's what drives people to want to be a part of it. And I think that's one of the things that makes this community so special, is because there's so many other things people could do that are easier, less expensive, less taxing on you physically and mentally. Yep. But the reward is so great. Like, the juice is absolutely worth the squeeze. So what comes next for you here in 2025? Like, so are we done for the year, winding things down, recoup, recover, kind of start making plans for 2026 and beyond?
Yeah, we already started trying to lay groundwork for next year. You have to, and it actually had to happen a couple of months ago. Start trying to get the, hopefully some sponsorship stuff lined up, because that's what it requires, right? So that's already in the works. This year was spectacular. Am I done yet? No, I think we still got another race left in us. We're going to go out and try to do another one before it's over with, and we'll see what happens with that. But we're gearing up. We're gearing up for next year and trying to get things ready, get things in place, and figure out over the next couple months what we're going to see happen. There's a lot of things developing within the sport, as you well know, and within the class. So we'll see how that stuff all pans out. But no, it's full steam ahead. It's full steam ahead. And as you mentioned just a minute ago, I just want to make sure we mention that, if this thing was easy, it wouldn't be as satisfying as it is, and it wouldn't be as rewarding as it is. And I've had people ask me, "What the hell's the matter with you at the top end? You're like a lunatic or whatever." And I say, that's not a planned thing. It just comes out of me, because I've got decades and decades of sacrifice in this thing, and I know how extremely hard it is just to qualify for a race, much less win a round. And God forbid if you win an event, it's huge. So that stuff just bubbles out of me, because it is so hard to do. So it is very, very rewarding when you do get to taste a little bit of success, and heaven forbid you win a championship. That was just over the top for me. But it's truly a sport that you love and you have a passion for, and it's not easy, but that's what makes it more rewarding.
I couldn't agree more, man. I think sometimes about all the racers that I've met over the course of a lifetime in this sport, but 20 years of doing it for a living, right? I met tens of thousands of different drag racers, I imagine, over all these years. And I think about how few of them have found themselves in that winner's circle on Saturday night or Sunday afternoon, but they're still here. They're still fighting the good fight. And I just think that that's a special thing. And that's why it's so important to celebrate and act like a lunatic, right? I think I tell people, you hear that phrase, act like you've been there before. To hell with that. Act like it's the first time every time. That's my advice. You got to show people what this means to you. And I tell you what, you sell tickets to these events every time you get emotional in the winner's circle, because people get to see how much it means, not only to you, but to everybody else. And I think that's a big part of selling this thing to the masses. So congratulations, John. We really appreciate you taking some time to tell your story here, your championship story here on the show. And we look forward to seeing you at your next stop and following this journey as long as it goes, brother. It's like I said, I met you for the first time in the spring of 2005. And to think of all that you've accomplished since then is it's pretty incredible, man. I couldn't be more proud of you, nor more happy for you.
Well, I appreciate it, and I laugh about that, because when we met, you was just a kid. You're just a little kid and running around at the racetrack. So you're already infected with the racing thing. But you was a kid running around the racetrack, and I never forget that. And Leanne and I talk about that periodically, as far as when you go back that far. I mean, that's well over 20 years ago now. And who would have thought? Who would have thought things would come like they do? Right? So it's amazing.
Absolutely incredible, man. Well, thank you for being a part of it, John. We couldn't be happier for you guys. And I look forward to seeing you at a drag strip here real soon, okay?
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And best of luck for whatever you're going to have in the future, buddy.
You got it, boss. We'll talk to you soon, John.
Thank you.
Congrats. Ladies and gentlemen, John DeFlorian.
Bye now.
Boys, we're up against the 4 o'clock hour. I called it a super show at the beginning, and it looks like we're going to live up to that. We've had John DeFlorian on here. We've had Joey Martin on here. We've had Christy Meyer Johnson. And I do believe if the good Lord's willing and the cell phone towers are going to behave properly, we may have another guest in just a few minutes. We had him in the green room. Now he's gone. Let's see, JT, if you can get him rounded back up, and we'll see what we can do here as we wind down the show. Mike, you're muted.
There we go. No, I did. I muted myself earlier. We got that good timing, man. As soon as we bring him on, he's gone. If he's relying on cell towers between Zephyr Hills, Florida, and Rockingham, North Carolina, more power to you, man.
I got to be honest. Anytime I see someone pop into the green room and they're in the cab of a truck, my heart kind of skips a beat. I get a little nervous.
Hey, man, he's got no time. He's got no time to stop, man. This guy's got like 7 pro mods basically, and now he's gonna put on his own event. So he's definitely got his hands full.
Yeah, he's went all in with this event. He told us that earlier. He's like, I don't have much money left in my name.
I tell you what, man, I was texting back and forth with Justin earlier in the week, and it was like, dude, this putting on an event thing is hard. Like this is like, he told me, he goes, I think this is the hardest thing I've ever done. And it's tough because there's only so many things you can control, right? You can't control how many people come. You can't control the weather forecast. You can do your level best, right? And you can throw a bunch of good spaghetti, as Christy Meyer said, up against the wall. We say shit round here in Barn Door. We throw a lot of shit up against the barn door. Christy Meyer is much more politically correct than I am. So spaghetti it is. But there's only so many things you can control. And I mean, like every drag racing promoter's worst enemy is the local meteorologist. I mean, he can put you in the tank on Monday.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, he can put you in the tank a week before the event even happens. And I can't count the number of times I've seen that unfold, where it's like the forecast is looking bad early in the week. All the news reports are saying it's going to rain.
We got it.
But by the time Friday rolls around, it's sunny and blue skies, and people have already made other plans. So speaking of drag racing event promoters, let's give it up for the man of the hour, headed north and headed east for Swanfest version 1. Let's give it up for Little Country, Justin Swanstrom.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
I might lose
buddy?
connection. I'm in South Carolina somewhere.
Oh, nothing good happens in South Carolina.
In your left hand, hold that chain out
experience.
the window. Hold your cell phone in the other hand, and you'll get hell of reception.
And put your key fob up to your chin or something. I don't know. There's a whole lot of tricks to this, man. Justin, you told me last night or the other day, I can't remember when we were talking, that this putting on an event, your first ever event, has been a challenge perhaps a little greater than you anticipated. One of the hardest things you've ever done. As you make your way, I mean, what's this moment feel like? I mean, you're about to throw your hat in the ring as a race promoter. You've got big plans with Big Jake for the coming year. I mean, tell me, what's this moment feel like? I mean, are you nervous?
No, I mean, I was a little discouraged, I guess you want to say, moving up to the event. But once I got close to getting closer to it, now we're starting to see a lot of the people sharing it, talking about their coming, and the racers, they already told me they were coming, but being closer to the event and now saying, we're going to be there. I'm excited for it. I tell you, the hardest thing for me right now is I wish I could let everybody in for free, but I can't. It's just because it's a business. So I got everybody and their brother messaging me, hey, buddy, I know you since we were fucking 12. I know Justin, or blah, 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 or I just make sure I'm on the list and all that. So I haven't responded to none of my messages in the last 48 hours, just due to the fact that we're so close to the event now, no matter what promotion we do or anything moving forward, that it's not going to change nothing for the event that's coming, starts tomorrow. I had somebody reach out to me today talking about, yo, send me your flyer so I can post it and then put me down for media. And I'm like, we're fucking, we're 18 hours away from starting. And so that's going to be, that's the hardest thing right now is, everybody's trying to come in for free. And I wish I could, but it just can't. I mean, that's one thing that I made myself very clear from the beginning. I've told even my, close people, I've told my mom, my dad, if there, I have a list, and if you're not on the list, you're paying to get into the event. It is what it is.
No, I totally get it, man.
You have to,
it's
man.
One of the biggest
it's like that
challenges.
for our events. Like we think we got everything sewed up, and then those rigs start parking, and everybody needs their parking spot, and then we're not even on the grounds yet, which you're not even there yet, and I'm sure shit is already just hitting the fan left and right, and just like you can't get there quick enough to start putting these fires out. That's what it feels like.
And that's what it is. And that's the reason why I'm not driving this weekend. I got out of the cars. I'm letting Travis drive all the cars and moving forward. Because like I told my dad, I didn't want to try to run the event and try to drive at the same time because I'd be focused on one or the other. And I want everybody to have fun at the first event. Your first event, your first impression is, everything. So I want everybody to take this race and say, hey, I want to come back next year. Or the people that didn't come, be like, hey, that was actually a good event, good setup, atmosphere. I would like to go to it next year. So I opt out of driving the cars to just make sure the event runs as smooth as it can. I'm sure there's going to be some hiccups along the way, but we're going to try our hardest to not allow that to happen.
No, I think you are making a really wise decision there. And I was having this conversation with someone recently. I got to quit saying that. JT tells me to always quit prefacing everything by saying I've said it recently. But I was talking to somebody about, like, you never have to wonder. Yeah, you never have to wonder where Dana White's going to be during a UFC event. If they're fighting, exactly, he's cage side. And I think that that's something that we don't see enough of, to be honest. Like, I take some shit for all of my antics on the starting line at World Series and through all 3 of our Winter Series events, but I'm the promoter. That's what I'm supposed to do. I've got to, someone's got to be excited. And if I'm not excited, I can't expect anybody else to be excited. I remember my dad telling me when I was a kid, you can tell how good a life insurance salesman is by how much coverage he has on himself. Because if he has a lot, that means he believes in it, right? And if I'm not fired up, if I'm not excited, if I'm not front and center, I can't expect anybody else to want to be a part of that. And so I think you're making a wise decision. And I'm really excited to see Justin Swanstrom as circus master, not drag racer, because I think this is going to be a really good thing for the sport, where you're able to play the Vince McMahon role and be more about stirring things up. I mean, tell us about some of these matchups. I mean, I know there's some really big grudge races locked in for Thursday and Friday night. This no time grudge world is different than anything else that exists in our sport today. What do you love about it? What are some of the races that you're excited to see happen? Do you think we'll see anything pop up? Some guys that maybe we didn't know were going to come, perhaps showing up and throwing their hat in the ring. What's your take on some of these races?
I mean, we got some big grudge races lined up for Thursday night. And let's kick it back. I feel like any event that I go to, I try to put on the show as best as I can. I feel like I try to lock in grudge races. I try to have fun. And, my team has, I think, five or six grudge races by themselves. So I wanted to make sure at my event that I wanted to be able to put on a show. And I'm glad that these other drivers are coming on board now and throwing races. But speaking what that is, so Thursday night, like, our first big race is Louis Vuitton, which is Michael Halls and Ryan McCain versus Bag. And it's right now it's up to 52,000 so one pass for 52 grand, and I think I got like a little over 10,000 on the side on side bets. So that's going to be a pretty nerve-wracking one right there. That'll be fun. We got Junkie B going up against Prenup, Tony Bynes and them. That's going to be a big race there. You got Kong, which is Callie Mills. She's coming. She's racing against Ryan McCain and them. Lyle Barnett with the Elvira car, Tommy Humans and them. They're coming. They have Jimmy Taylor. He's bringing a lot of stuff out there. But I think right now we have, 11 or 12 high-end races out of like the 275 guys Thursday night by themselves. So yes, we're doing testing, but they're going to be doing some big grudge races.
It's whenever you sent me the list last night, I'm like, man, there's a dozen banger races on this. What do you make of how fast these cars are going on 275s? I mean, I know that nobody talks about their times, nobody lights the boards, and it's all part of the game. And it's actually, I think, one of the allures to this type of racing. But these things have gotten pro mod fast on a 275 radial with no wheelie bars. I mean, are you surprised at how fast the cars are and the number of heavy hitters there are? Manny Bajinga, Jimmy Taylor, yourself, the McCain boys, Michael Hawes, Callie Mills. I mean, these are bad, fast hot rods.
They are. And they got great owners, great tuners, crew guys. Everybody's working on it's going to be able to do that. I mean, they're fast. I wish I could tell because
I know.
we would strike the world. I guess you want to say that way. I mean, I will tell you this, that I pretty much would put a 275 car up against any car out there for the records.
Yeah. And we know what the records are. Jimmy Taylor for the last 10 days has been talking about setting the door slammer record, and it's a 345 with a 1. And if you're listening to what Mr. Swanstrom just said right there, he'd put a 275 car up against that record. That's really saying something, man, because I don't know that the fans truly understand the level to which this deal has gotten.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great teams out there, dude. They put in the work, they've done their homework, and it is gonna take, great weather, all that to happen. And I know a lot of people are like, oh well, they gotta always glue the track and all that, but there's a lot that goes into it to be able to race under the conditions that are happening with moving forward. I did my race a little bit different this week. Before you get everybody's allowed to test, the week of and all that, I shut that shit down. We're not, nobody, and I'm part of the issue. Like, I'll rent the track out for 2 or 3 days to test to get ready. So I tell people all the time, like, I'm part of the issue, but I shut it down. There's no testing the week of at Rockingham. Rockingham's been amazing to work with, and they've made it very clear too. Like, nobody's allowed to test. Everybody will get the same opportunity Thursday night from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. to be able to get their testing in, and then Friday, for the $100,000 shootout, we are coming off the trailer. There will be no test passes. There will be no trials at the track. We are going to start Friday night with a bang with the big guys coming off the trailer for the $100,000.
Man, you talk about the weather too, though. We talked about this earlier. It's going to be cool here around here this Thursday and Friday. Lows in the 40s. So you talk about guys running 6 p.m. to 2 a.m., man. If they get a hold of it, I know we're not lighting the boards, but these things are going to be hauling ass.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good weekend. Everybody's going to be running fast. I mean, there's a lot of great teams coming, and that's one thing that I was really trying to press on. I did change the rules up a little bit. I might lose connection on y'all, but I did change the rules up a little bit. We put a weight on the class, to try to slow the class down. The class, I felt, and some others felt the same way, but I really felt the class was getting taken out of hand real quick, and it was gonna die pretty fast. So we went ahead and I said, I'm going to go to Big Jake's race. Let's see how it pans out. Let's see what he does. I was one of the cars that was in the finals. I said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and reel this thing back in, or try to reel it back in for my race and moving forward. And I'm hoping the other promoters will take what we got this weekend, as long as it runs good and smoothly, and runs with it too. So we did put a minimum weight on the class, because when you have cars that come in at unlimited weight and you got people that have big pocketbooks, this is what you're going to get. And then I don't want to say your average racer, but your other parts of the racers and that they can't go rent a track for 3 or 4 days. They can't go out there and have 3 or 4 motors and all that. So that's one of the reasons why we decided to do what we do and put a weight on it, try to slow the class down a little bit, try to give everybody the same chance. We got steel roof, steel quarter cars that are going up against pro mods. So we went ahead and gave them a weight break. We gave them a weight break. I feel like that allows them to feel like they have something over the pro mods, which I feel they do. Good thing about it is I have both. I have steel roof, steel quarters. I got pro mods. So I do know what they run. I do think the weight break that we gave them, which was 50 pounds, I do think that is an advantage there. So if people take advantage of it and run with it, then so much to them. But we wanted to try to reel the class in, and that's why I feel like we are going to have the car count that we have. As of right now, we got 31 that is committed. 39 is on the list, and the people that are 32 to 39 are like Mike Starvino's, Holder out of California, Lyle Barnett. They haven't set their deposits in, but I know they're going to be here, so I know they're going to be a part of it. I'm hoping we could have a solid 32 car field, but I think we're going to end up having probably 35 real fast competitors. At the weight, with everything's at, it doesn't matter who you're going to race, you're going to have your A game.
I love it, man. I think you're wise, because that was one of the things that I feel like I've been seeing in recent, the last few months, if not the last year or so, is that as these pro mod cars and big budget teams come into this space, it's going to be a problem, and it's going to run off a lot of the guys that have made this special. right?
And it's no different than RVW. I tell people all the time, I loved RVW back then, but it just got to the point where, you know, you had one or two people that could really go after and run it at that schedule and run it there. And that's why it's, you know, died down. And hell, I have an RVW car. I'm running RVW next weekend. I want to see it come back up, but that's part of it. And I just didn't want to see that happen.
Well, and I, like I said, I think it's a smart move because you're ahead of it, right? And getting ahead of it, like trying to solve the it's tough once you've let it happen and the cat's kind of out of the bag. Like it's really difficult to put it back in, you know. And I think that's something that RVW is going to need, like a complete reset, in my opinion, to get it back to what it once was. Because to your point, man, it got to. I mean, there was a handful of guys that could run 340s. Or whatever it took to run at the front of Radio versus the World. And we saw the interest start to fade. And I think that you may well be saving No Time Grudge Racing by putting these minimum weights in place and trying to narrow the gap between their steel roof and quarter cars and the pro mods. I mean, I applaud that a lot. Good job.
I agree with that. And that's what I said. I mean, everybody wants to go fast and everybody wants to see how fast these cars are. But I thought like the Outlaw Extreme class or whatever, that, you know, the big tire Extreme. The reason why they only got 4, 5, 6 cars is because only 2 of them can actually get down to that kind of weight. One of them can actually run the fucking ET that is talked about. And it's just not fun watching it. And that sooner or later, people just get tired of getting their fucking teeth kicked in.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and it's like racing, it's competing on price, man. It's a race to the bottom, right? I mean, you just, you start to run people off left and right. And the next thing you know, you're sitting around kicking the gates open at one of these events, wondering what happened. Like, where'd everybody go? Well, they've gone to do something else where they feel like they've got a shot at it. So, no, man, I'm fired up for. I think you're going to have a hell of a show on your hands this weekend. Do you? You mentioned the people at Rockingham being great to work with. What we've seen out of Rockingham in recent years has been nothing short of amazing. The amount of money they've spent on, you know, renovating the track, improving the track, building a badass lounge on the top of the tower, all these various things they've done. Talk a little bit about just why you chose Rockingham, maybe how this whole thing came together and what the experience has been like.
So I've been to Rockingham a couple times over the years, but here lately with the new owners, I'm looking at my shit. I feel like I'm in a rave inside here right now.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a rave too.
That's why I'm trying to turn my phone. That's why it keeps fucking with me.
It's the trees, man.
Here with the new owners. Here with the new owners, we went to the track 3 or 4 times, and I've been to all tracks around the world. I've been to a lot of different racing organizations and everything. And I even told my dad, I said, man, Rockingham's the place I want to go to because I feel like it's kind of central. The people that are a little bit up north, you got people over to the west, you got people that are down south. That was kind of central. And I even told Jake, I mean, I'm taking what Jake has out in Texas, I'm piggybacking it. And I'm fucking bringing it over to the East Coast. I let them know I did. And I tell people all the time, there ain't nothing wrong with it. If you see something that's working and doing good, I'm a firm believer in you trying to take that and trying to make it a little bit better. It doesn't always work that way, but you got to try your best to be able to make it a little better. So I went ahead and let Jake know that I was stealing his shit and bringing it back over here to the East Coast. And he was cool with it. Me and him were, and that's whenever we linked up. And he goes, man, why don't we both said it at the same time. Like we were sending texts to each other. We're like, dude, why don't we just run a 4-race points championship next year? And that's how that deal came about. But with Rockingham, they put a lot of money into the track. It's a great facility. The track prep, Alex and them there, they do amazing there on that part. And dude, it's been smooth sailing. I'm not gonna lie, I got no complaints. They've made it so easy to be able to throw this event. I don't know if all events are this easy, but it's been pretty smooth sailing for me. Like I said, it's the people that's hitting me up. That's probably been the most pressure, and this damn media list. I can tell you right now, and everybody's a fucking media guy nowadays.
That damn media, man, pain in the ass. Nah, that's a good thing, man. Rockingham, you know, it went through the new ownership, and then, like you said, that they've really made an effort to kind of bring it back to where it was. I mean, that's a legendary place that NHRA, IHRA, ADRL. I mean, it's had iconic events through all of these different sanctions and series that have competed there. So it's awesome to see. And even the state of North Carolina is reinvesting back in those facilities in Rockingham Speedway and the drag strip. So it's something that that we need to continue to see those kinds of investments in things to bring that track back to where it was. And I think that this event, I mean, being here in the area, I'm hearing a ton about this event, tons of questions, a lot of people that are interested in it. So you haven't heard that out of Rockingham over the last handful of years. So the Rock is definitely back, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna see how it goes. I mean, Thursday night we got that big grudge race, so it'll either start off with a huge bang or I'll be crying in my trailer. But we'll go from there and just see how the deal goes. I talked to Wes about it last night. I sent him a couple of the numbers that I'm trying to shoot for. If we hit those numbers, then I will say it's a success. And we already got plans for next year and figuring out what the next big thing is.
How do you cook up the balls to, like, the one thing I always admire, you're willing to race anybody. You'll run anybody and you'll put a price tag on it. Where does that come from? Like, just because it's like, hey, we're here, we might as well run. And if we're going to run, I'm going to bet.
Yeah. And that's why, I don't know. I'm already there. So it doesn't, for me, a lot of people nowadays, they're scared of what the internet's going to say if they take a loss, which I don't get that. I mean, I've won the biggest races out there. I've won I'll probably go on a limb and say I've probably won more money than 95% of people out there in, racing. But you're either going to lose or you're going to win. And that's how I look at it. So I'm already there testing. I'm already, going to run the event. I might as well just lock a few races in. Hell, next weekend at RVW, well, I got Lyle locked in for first round of qualifying. I haven't even made a fucking pass in the RVW car yet. But like I told him, I'm already going to run the first round of qualifying. I might as well just put a little money on top of it, and I might be able to eat dinner that night, or I might eat fucking chicken noodles. Whatever happens, happens.
I love it, man. Thank God for guys willing to take a chance to put on a show for all of us, dude. We need a little bit more of that in this space, because I remember the first time I ever went to a no-time grudge race deal. I think it was in Macon, Georgia, and it feels like it's been 100 years ago now. But almost all of the races that were supposed to happen didn't happen. Yeah, right? Like all these races are being promoted, and so is going to run so-and-so, and they're running for this much. And the next
I think that was about the time we put, what's his name on the cover? Rock, right?
Gilbert,
I mean,
there was Jacobs.
Yeah, there was a big push around that, and I think he was probably involved in that event. But it wasn't just him or that event. There was a lot of stuff at House of Hook, Darlington, especially around here, where, that was the deal with the grudge races is, man, 9 out of 10 times nobody locks in, nobody runs. So
it's hard. Some people pay punk out. It's part of it. I know for me, I try to run all my races, dude. I tell people all the time, when I leave the house, if I lock a race in, say we lock a race in for 10 grand, 50 grand, whatever it is. If I decide we're going to lock that race in, when I leave my house, I'm okay with losing that money. If I lose that money, I can go back home Monday morning and go back with my normal life scheme. That's how I look at it. And a lot of people are not. A lot of people try to, outbet. A lot of people try to talk a lot of shit, hope they're going to scare somebody or this, that, and the third. Or, they get to the event and maybe the car's not running good, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes they pay punk out. But for me, I tell people all the time, gamble the money that you're okay with losing. No different than going to the casino. If you go to the casino, you're okay with losing $500, well, then you're okay with losing $500. And that's how you do it. You get some of these people, they get themselves in trouble because they lose more. I had one guy message me on Facebook. He's like, hey, man, like he literally messaged me. We're the Louis Vuitton race and money bag. And he goes, I want $5 grand on this race. And I thought, he wanted, Louis Vuitton with Ryan McCain. I'm like, all right, let's send our money over to a mutual party. As long as everything's good, we're fine. I don't really know you. He goes, no. He goes, I want to put it on the green card, money bag. And I go, well, how the fuck am I going to bet you? I own the car. And he's like, he goes, you're the owner? And well, yeah. He's like, oh, I didn't think that. And then he comes in, he's like, I ain't going to lie to you, man. I'm in dire needs right now. Blah, blah, blah. This is my last little bit of money I got. I'm putting it on the race. If it does good, good. If it don't, it don't. And I sent him a message back. I said, listen, man, if you're in that kind of an issue right now, you probably don't need to be gambling on the race. And I was honest with him. It's just part of it. Because I can tell you, you don't want to gamble your rent money. You got to be able to pay your bills and keep moving forward. So if I lose money Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, or whatever, I'm comfortable with losing that money. Hopefully I don't, but I tell people all the time, I'm comfortable with losing that money and I can go back to work Monday morning.
Ah, what a deal, Justin, man. Well, we couldn't be more excited for you, dude. We appreciate you popping in and giving us a little bit of a rundown. We've got some more stories to tell now that we've chatted with you, and we'll be anxiously following along. Are you planning any content around this deal? Are we going to see some behind the scenes with Justin going through his first event as a promoter?
Yeah. Yeah, we're doing that. One big thing y'all do really good or really trying to do good of getting people to know who the racers are. I think I have done good, as in, I tell people what cars I have, but they also know who I am. If you name, for most people, if you name my cars, they know that it's affiliated with Justin Swanstrom. So one thing I'm going to do this weekend, and I already let all the drivers know, I want to help promote their side too. So we're going to go around, we're going to do interviews with the drivers. People are going to be able to know what car they are. They're not just going to see Lyle Barnett's purple car on the racetrack. They're going to know that it's Lyle Barnett driving that car. They're going to know that Ryan McCain tunes for Michael Halls and Louis V. Michael Halls is driving that car. They're not just seeing colors on the side of a paint job and don't know who the hell they are. So that's one thing I'm going to try to do, is I'm going to try to help promote. And that's the reason why I was really big on the people that locked in. And like I told them, I wanted to get deposits in because I've been promoting them for the last 2 months. I want people to know who they are. When they come up to you, they can see people. I'm a visual person. If I could see a face on the Facebook or whatever, when I see you in person, I may not 100% know your name right off rip, but at least I'll know where I seen you from or what I got going on or what you're affiliated with. And that's one thing I want to try to tell people is you got to try to build up everybody's character and move forward. But I also need them to be able to do their job too. And I've even told people, like, listen, I'm going to talk shit to you this weekend. Don't take it to heart, but it's going to make it better, because if we're all just sitting on here fucking talking to each other and just having a good time and making s'mores, ain't nobody going to watch that shit.
100%, man. We can't all be holding hands singing Kumbaya, right? We've got to make sure people know that it matters, and who wins and who loses matters. So I appreciate that, man. And putting faces to the names has been our song and dance for 20 years.
Especially in this space. I mean, that you're addressing, I think, a need in
hey, Lauren, grab that
the
trophy.
Grudge world. Because
I'll show you the trophy real quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we
so
we
everybody's got their own big ones. Go ahead.
Is everybody gonna catch all this stuff on your page? Tell them where we can follow all this stuff.
So we'll be doing a live stream. We have Tickle Fits that will be doing a live stream. Forever Grudge is probably most of the people that's in the Grudge world, but you'll be on Facebook. Trust me, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. There will be a live stream from start to finish. Moving forward, I got some different ideas for 2026. But for this being my first one, I said anybody and everybody can come. They can shoot it, do whatever they want with it. I've already got with my editor, and I let him know we got to get our stuff out just as fast, because there's plenty of people that's going to be there that's going to be putting out the same content we're doing. So with everybody, I think it'll help grow it, and it'll get people excited for the second one in 2026.
100%. Man. Yeah, let's see this trophy. Oh, hot damn.
Hold on one second. I'll turn this thing around.
So hell yeah, buddy.
All right, so everybody's going to get a trophy for winning, a shootout, right? And then here, this one's called the Swan Cup. And the reason why we named it the Swan Cup, I kind of got the idea from fucking hockey. So whoever wins this trophy in the Outlaw Extreme 275 class will get to take this trophy home, gloat it around, send it to their friends, put it on their grandma's shelf, whatever, come back to Swanfest in 2026, and they will put the trophy back up for grabs. They will then get a special badge built into the bottom of the trophy, and as the years grow, we will grow the trophy kind of like the Stanley Cup. Like, again, I told everybody, just take what's good going on out there and try to make it a little bit better. So now we have the Swan Cup.
Yeah, man, perpetual trophy. It's a great idea, man, and everybody's gonna value that little bit of time they get to hold on to that bad boy. You know what I mean? Take all the pictures, everything else. You're gonna have people wanting you to make duplicates so they can have a version to keep.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That was the biggest thing, and I wanted people to remember the event. So I didn't hold back on expenses. Trophies. We got crowns for when you win. Coin flip, because everything is we're drawing out of a bag. So I got all special coins made and everything. I wanted to make it really exciting for people to remember this race, to be able to possibly come back for 2026. Or like I said, if you're not able to make this race, you'll want to plan for next year to make sure you are here.
We're looking forward to it, Justin, man. You get yourself there. Where'd you say you're at? You're in South Carolina, so you're not too far away.
No. I'm only about 3 hours away from the track. Actually, 2.5 now. So I got a big meeting tonight. That's the other thing. Like, we're Rockingham. They're the ones that's been on it. I'm like, hey, in any way we can have one big meeting tonight before we start this deal tomorrow. Just make sure everybody's on the same page. Make sure we all got to, so everything runs as smooth as it can. So we are coming up here. We're gonna have our meeting tonight. Then we'll go get some dinner, and then it's on like Donkey Kong tomorrow. We'll see how it pans out.
We can't wait to watch, Justin. Be safe traveling, man, and we'll be cheering you on. Okay.
All right. See you, guys.
All right, man.
it, buddy.
Good luck this weekend.
See you, Mike.
Yep.
What a deal, man. This is I think this has been a hell of a show, buddy. I
I
mean,
know,
we
I've
had
got-
me crying.
I think that was
earlier.
testing my epilepsy. I might need to go to a doctor or something after
Yeah.
Justin's.
We
was
need
like-
JT to crank up the EDM real quick.
We need a
Get some
warning. We
dance
need a
music
warning
going.
before we replay this show. Any epileptic sensitive people?
Yeah, if
don't
you're
watch it.
sensitive to lights, you may want to listen to the audio only version on wherever wherever podcasts
I
are
love
sold.
how pumped up he is about it, though.
I do too, man. I think he's genuinely fired up, and I think that's, as we've established, that's the difference maker. You can't expect anyone else to care if you don't. So
Yeah,
Justin
they're gonna have a hell of a
Swanstrom
weekend,
clearly
man.
cares.
We're
Yeah, I
hearing
think he's
about
gonna
it.
have a hell of
We're
a
hearing
show
a
on their hand.
ton about it around here. It's funny how these events go, man. I think Justin's probably he spoke to that a little bit, to where you do all this planning, you do all this promotion for months or weeks, and you really worry like you get a couple days out. Is anybody going to show up? Is this thing actually going to happen? Like, or am I just in a vacuum or something? And then it starts the momentum of people, rolling in the
It's
gates,
that way.
showing up or whatever. And I think he's feeling that right now.
It's that way when you're trying to have a party anywhere. Like, I don't care if it's an after bar party or kegger or the DI after hours party. I mean, one of our events, you do, like, even though people are going to show up, that little lull in between, especially, you're like, oh shit, man, oh shit, everything gonna go right.
Dude, about 5 o'clock on Thursday at PRI before the party, right? Like, we'll be sitting around 5, 6 o'clock before the party starts at PRI, and we're all looking at each other like, you think anybody's actually going to come? Like, is anybody? And then, like you said, there's that little bit of a lull, and then all of a sudden the floodgates open, and everybody and then some.
Barbecue at your house when you invite the neighbors over and some of your friends. You're like, shit, am I gonna come? I cooked a bunch of shit here.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. Well, hey, JT, Mike, thank you guys. Blake, thank you so much for making this deal happen every week. Of course, huge shout out to all of our guests: Christy Meyer Johnson, Joey Martin, John DeFlorian, Justin Little Country Swanstrom, and more so than anybody else, all of you that tune in every week and help us spread the gospel of drag racing. It's a privilege and an honor, and we can't wait to see you next Wednesday right here on the Drag Illustrated YouTube channel, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see you then.
See y'all next week.